Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar. I welcome Professor Bakhshi sir to this evening session. Indeed, it is really an honor and pleasure for all of us to have him here as a resource person. So, not taking much of time, I will just give you a brief sketch of his academic profile. Uh, Dr. A K Bakhshi sir, a renowned academician and a former and a former Vice Chancellor of Sri Shankar Lal Professor of Chemistry in University of Delhi and founding Vice Chancellor of PDM University, uh, Haryana. He has also been an Executive Director of Territory of Education Commission Mauritius, a post for which he was selected through global selection, and Vice Chancellor of UP Rajeshri Tandon Open University, Allahabad. He has also been Head Department of Chemistry, Director CPDHE, and Director of Institute of Lifelong Learning of Delhi University. He is also being a visiting professor at GGSIP University in New Delhi. Professor Bakshi is presently a mentor to UGC MMTTC at SGTB Khalsa College of University of Delhi. He has also been the chairman of GAT TLC and the member of Standing Committee of National Mission of Education through ICT of Government of India. Also, he was the chairman of Content Advisory Committee for Chemistry for Shashaks portal of MHRD Government of India. So indeed, it is really a pleasure and honor for all of us to have him here. So again, I welcome him, and I would now hand over the session to Professor Bakshi sir.
Thank you very much for your very kind words of introduction, and good evening to all the participants who have joined this NEP orientation and sensitization program. And it's a great pleasure and a privilege to deliver this talk at this program. And before I start my talk, let me share my screen. And I would also request all the participants to please keep their videos on. That looks more lively. I don't know why it's not done. So you should keep your videos on. This is a small request to all of you. I hope my screen is visible and I am audible clearly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You
Please
are.
confirm it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just 1 minute. A problem here. So as you can see, the title of my talk is Digital Transformation in Higher Education with special focus on teaching learning in the 21st century. So this is one of the modules of your program, and it comes under information and communication technology. So this is basically the title of my talk, and I will start this talk with a brief introduction. And first, we will try to understand what we mean by digital transformation in higher education. See, digital transformation in higher education means the transformation brought about in higher education as a result of integration of technology, that is ICT, with it. So it is the integration of technology with education. that is called digital transformation. Normally, it would have taken a lot of time, but as you all know, during COVID-19, all of us were using technological tools, and COVID-19 has sped up this process of digital transformation. And it is said that what could have been achieved in 10 years was achieved in 1 year because all were dependent on technology. And now this integration of technology with education is done using various digital tools. Digital tools are the tools which help in various tasks involved in the integration of technology with education. They help in making these tasks easier to complete. So the question is, what are these digital tools? These are some examples of digital tools which help you in the integration of technology with education. In an interactive whiteboard, then word processing, MS Word, then slide presentation, PowerPoint, then electronic reference material, then video recording and editing apps, then video conferencing apps. For example, the Zoom, which we are using now, is also a digital tool. Then others are Google Meet, Cisco, WebEx, etc. Then learning management systems, and then various audio tools. All these are the examples of digital tools which help in the integration of technology with education. And this also includes ChatGPT, which, as you know, was launched in November 22, and it has become one of the most popular digital tools in the world. So these tools help you in achieving the digital transformation. Now the question comes, why do we do digital transformation? Because, digital transformation is expected to enhance the quality of education and to help achieve the 21st century learning needs. That is the reason why digital transformation is becoming very important. So, in this entire talk, I will focus on the impact of technology, that means ICT, information and communication technology, on teaching learning in the 21st century. Because technology is very vast and its impact is also very vast, but we will focus mainly on teaching learning in the 21st century. Why we are focusing on teaching learning? Because, teaching learning is the most important component of the educational process. Any educational process has three main components. One is curriculum. That means what we teach. Second is teaching learning. That is, how do we teach? And the third is assessment. How do we assess our students? So out of these three, teaching learning is considered to be the most important, and that will be the focus of this talk. And before we move further, let's know a little bit about technology. See, you must be knowing that technology in simple language is the application of scientific knowledge to practical use in human life. That is how we define technology. So behind technology, there is always scientific knowledge. And as science is growing, technology is also growing because scientific knowledge is growing. That is why it is said, the science of today is the technology of tomorrow. And therefore, we can say technology is evolving every day. So this is something you have to keep it in mind. And please remember something about technology, that technology is only an enabler. Technology doesn't have a brain of its own. It is an enabler which can help you achieve the intention of the person who is using it. And as you all know, technology makes our lives easier and more convenient and helps us to do things more quickly and effectively. Then why not use it in education? That is the reason why we are using technology here. That means technology changes everything, and it won't be wrong if we say that technology actually, shapes our society also. We will talk about that. But before we move further, let's know what is information and communication technology, which we are talking about in this lecture. See, ICT is an umbrella term that encompasses all communication technologies that provide access to information. So, there are various examples of ICT as you can see in this slide: internet, wireless networks, satellite communications, cell phone, digital TV, all of them come under ICT. And the common feature of all these technologies is that ICT processes information and aids communication. But please remember, ICT is just one of the many technologies. ICT is a subset of technology. There are many other types of technologies only. But in the context of digital transformation, we will be taking into account ICT, information and communication technology. And it is believed that ICT, if it is used creatively, can make a big difference in the way the teachers teach and the students learn. It can change everything. And if you look at the history of integration of ICT with education, there have been 3 major milestones in India concerned with the integration of ICT with education. First major milestone was long back in the year 2006, when Sakshat portal was launched. It was the first portal of the government of India. The main aim of this portal was to leverage the powers of ICT in higher education. And this was launched in the year 2006. I was the chairman of the Content Advisory Committee in Chemistry at that time. And it was launched by the then President, Dr. Abdul J. Kalam. Then came 2009 when NME-ICT was launched. NME-ICT is National Mission on Education through ICT. And the main aims of NME-ICT was to produce interactive, multimedia, enriched e-content, then to develop high-speed connectivity, then low-cost devices, and then various educational channels were launched. And in this chain, in 2015, when the present government came, Digital India Initiative was launched. So, these are the 3 major milestones in the history which deal with the integration of ICT with education. That means digital transformation. And now you will all agree that ICT has impacted all areas of higher education. It has totally changed the way we interact with the rest of the world. And this slide summarizes everything. This is a very important slide where we talk about digital transformation in higher education. Look at this. Teaching learning has changed. Now e-learning and MOOCs have become very popular. PowerPoint presentation, video clippings, audio, all those are becoming very important. Then for those disciplines where there is a practical work, virtual labs have come, which help you in the various experimental works. especially in science and engineering subjects. Then revision of syllabi. At one time, it used to take sometimes years. But now, with the help of technology, with the help of email, with the help of discussion forum and video conferencing, revision of syllabi can be done very fast. Then in research also, many ICT tools have come. Electronic databases are there. That means the way the research is now conducted, that has also changed because of ICT. And then in examination or in assessment, online examinations are becoming very popular. India has created National Testing Agency, NTA, which is conducting most of the national exams. Then professional development of the teachers is in online mode. For example, this program is also in an online mode. And then many ICT empowered pedagogies have come. So you can see digital transformation in higher education has been touching almost every aspect of higher education. There is hardly any aspect which has remained untouched by this digital transformation. So having said that, in this present talk, the structure is as follows. In this talk, I will talk about these 4 points. First will be, I will talk about e-learning and MOOCs. They are very popular. They are very important. Part second, I will talk about ICT and learner-centric pedagogies. In part 3, I will talk about flipped classroom model, which is a new blended learning approach. And part 4 will be the future of digital transformation or future of ICT in education. So this talk has been structured in this way, touching about these 4 points. Now coming to part 1, e-learning and MOOCs. Now what is e-learning? E-learning basically means electronic learning. Emphasis is still on learning, only the mechanism is changing. And the mechanism is electronic. So e-learning is in a way the learning which uses ICT, information and communication technology. That is what we call as e-learning. And what are MOOCs? MOOC is also a popular e-resource, but which facilitates e-learning, but in a very structured way. See, the term MOOC was coined long back in the year 2008 by Dave Cormier. And you know, these MOOCs became so popular in United States that the year 2012 was declared as the year of the MOOC by the New York Times. That was the headline. That was, so much was the popularity of the MOOC. So before we move further, let's try to understand what is basically a MOOC. MOOC is an acronym for Massive Open Online Course. We call it massive because there can be unlimited enrollment. Lakhs and lakhs of students can enroll in one course. We call it open because no qualifications are required for enrollment until and unless you want to obtain the grades. Online means these courses are offered through web. And normally for one semester paper, there is one course. That semester paper may be 4 credit or 3 credit, but generally there is one course. So that is the meaning of the MOOC. And why MOOCs are so popular? MOOCs are so popular because the thinking or the basic philosophy of MOOCs is this 4 A's. Anytime, anywhere, anyone, any number of times. Any person can enroll in the MOOC from anywhere in the world at any time and can learn from the MOOCs as many times as you want. So these 4A is a very big advantage. And then, MOOCs offer you a unique advantage because you can decide your own pace of learning. They are available 24/7. Whenever you have time, you can learn from the MOOCs. And then they are highly economical. Hardly think you have to pay until you have to pay a nominal fee if you want to appear in examination. What all you need is just a laptop or a smartphone or a tablet and then internet connection. And then all barriers are removed. Anybody, irrespective of age, irrespective of, gender, whether you are where, that hardly matters. Anybody can enroll in the MOOCs and learn from this. So this is a very unique advantage of MOOCs. So you can say that MOOCs are like big classrooms on the internet where lots of people can learn together. That's how the MOOCs work. Now the question comes, what is the basis of MOOCs? See, you learn from the MOOCs, it means you learn from the content. And the content of the MOOCs is e-content, electronic content, which we also call sometimes a digital content. So e-content is the content or information which is delivered or made available using computer networks such as internet, etc. And this content may include text, videos, audios, animations, simulations, graphics, all are included. So MOOCs have all these types of features that will make a good quality e-content. Because see, a good quality e-content is that which has all those features which make self-learning exciting and interesting. Because when you are learning from a course, there is no teacher with you. You have to learn on your own. Therefore, it should be so good that no problem comes. And developing a MOOC or developing a e-content requires a massive team effort. You need subject matter experts. You need technical team which can help you in doing the, multimedia enrichment. And all the MOOCs which are developed in India, both undergraduate, postgraduate, all of them are hosted on SWAYAM platform. SWAYAM is a learning management system, LMS. All courses are hosted on that. This is a technical platform. You go to this site, www.swayam.gov.in, you will get all the MOOCs. And SWAYAM is something, the vision of the government is that SWAYAM is something like ATL, anytime learning. You can learn at any time from the MOOC, just as you have ATM for bank money. So anytime learning is a unique advantage of MOOCs, which, are offered through SWAYAM platform. Let me tell you something about SWAYAM platform also. Because, this is one of the world's largest MOOC providers. Already nearly 4,000 courses are hosted on it, starting from 9th standard up to PG level. Already $33 million investment has been made on SWAYAM platform. And then, for every MOOC, there is an introductory video, which gives you the summary of each course. What are the contents of that course? And then all the courses of SWAYAM are free, but there is a nominal examination fee if you want to obtain the certificate. And then the courses are flexible. You may not even study every course, every module. You can just go to the desired module and learn. And this is not only for students, it is also good for teachers. And now, if you look at the most popular MOOCs on SWAYAM, these are some of the most popular MOOCs on SWAYAM. Computing with Python, which has been developed by IIT Ropar. ethical hacking developed by IIT Kharagpur, programming in C++, IIT Bombay, and so on. And there is one very important feature of SWIME. This SWIME platform has been designed to achieve the three cardinal principles of NEP 2020 education policy. They are access, equity, and quality. SWIME helps you in achieving these three principles: access, equity, and quality. Access means, see, if you look at the current higher education scenario in the country, India has the third largest system of education in the world. Look at this as compared to 1950. We have grown considerably. We have more than 1,000 universities, nearly 45,000 colleges, so many standalone institutions. We have more than 15 lakh teachers and more than 4 crore students. So by any stretch of imagination, there has been a considerable growth. There is no doubt about that. But despite this growth, gross enrollment ratio in higher education is very low, about 26.3% in 2019, and presently it is about 27 to 28%. And NEP 2020 has set a target of 50% gross enrollment ratio by 2035. So how to achieve that? This can be achieved only through MOOCs or online education. Because if you try to do it manually by setting more universities or opening more colleges, you will need at least 3.3 million more teachers. That's not possible. Even financially, that may not be viable. Therefore, MOOCs can help you in increasing the gross enrollment ratio. Besides this, please remember, all the MOOC courses have been developed by the top experts of the country, renowned professors. So it is something like the best of the country addressing the rest. I have developed so many MOOCs. Our center has developed so many MOOCs. And then MOOCs help you in realizing the dream of lifelong learning. If I am interested in learning any discipline or any course, I can enroll in the MOOC. Nobody can stop me. So some people are very fond of learning. They can enroll in various courses and learn simultaneously. It's almost free. And then high quality education is available to the masses. Because we have MOOCs not only for undergraduate, but also for postgraduate, and any student in the country from any part of the country can learn from these courses. And these are all high quality education courses. And this high quality education is available to the masses with equity. Look at this. This is equity. On the right side is equity. Equity means you have to be fair, social justice, not equality as it is on the left side. There is a difference between the two. And then MOOCs make learning learner-centric. It's up to you how you learn, when you learn, and interactive, and then it's just one click away. So these are some of the advantages of the MOOCs. And now UGC regulations have come whereby any student can enroll in up to 40% of the courses per semester through MOOCs on SWIME and earn credits. So this is a big change. Many universities in the country have already adopted it. So any student can enroll in up to 40% of the courses per semester through MOOCs. And very recently, another platform has been launched, which is called SWIME Plus. This platform has been launched by the Government of India on 27th February 2024. This will be operated by IIT Madras. Now, what is so special about SWIME Plus is that it will offer the industry relevant courses, skill-based courses it will offer. the courses which can help you in boosting the employability. And the features of these courses are, they are industry relevant, and then they are multilingual. They are available in different languages. And these courses have been developed by the collaboration with leading companies like L&T, Microsoft, Cisco, etc. So this is SWAYAM Plus. However, before I move further, I would like you to know that development of MOOCs is not that easy. There are many challenges in the development of MOOCs because the MOOCs need to be of very high quality. Authenticity should be there, interactivity should be there. So all those features should be added. And development of MOOCs needs a coordination between academic and technical team. Academic team will write the content, but technical team will do multimedia enrichment, where audio is to be added, where video is to be added. That will be done by the technical team. So there needs to be a proper coordination between the two. Then MOOCs need to be developed in a time-bound manner. You cannot take years and years to develop a MOOC. And by the time MOOCs are ready, the courses are outdated. What's the use? And then most of the MOOCs on SWAYAM platform, they are in English. They need to be translated into various regional languages. So multilingual conversion is very important feature. And please remember, because I and our center has developed so many MOOCs for the country, I developed it for MSc chemistry students. You need to be a great teacher who has done a lot of thinking on the subject, and you should have excellent writing skills. Because you will be writing various modules, you have to arrange them in a very systematic and logical manner. The language should be simple. There should be a clarity of expression. There should be no ambiguity. And you should have the ability, like a good teacher, to come down to the level of the weak student and take them along. So development of MOOCs is a challenging job. Please remember that. And then, already so many learners are now opting for MOOCs. And as the Times of India's report says, more than 3 crore enrollments are already there in MOOCs. And this was my article in Education Times about SWAYAM. Will the SWAYAM transform the quality of faculty in higher educational institutions? So that's what you need to know about e-learning and MOOCs. So that was my part 1. Because e-learning and MOOCs plays a very important role in teaching learning. Now I come to part 2, where I will talk about another aspect of digital transformation, which is ICT-empowered pedagogies for learner-centric education. See, currently many of our universities and colleges, teachers still teach by traditional talk and chalk method. And this chalk and talk method, though it has some advantages, but it is not without limitations. For example, this method is a teacher-centric approach. Teacher governs the whole class. And then this method presumes that all students learn in an identical fashion. That may not be true. Some may be slow learners, some may be fast, some may be just average. Then it's mainly a monologue method. Teacher speaks and speaks. Students are at the receiving end like a passive listener. Then it is slow and time consuming. You write on the board, rub it, students take down the notes like that. And then many complex concepts cannot be explained on the board. That's also a problem. And then sometimes, because you have to finish the syllabus as a teacher, due to the paucity of time, you cannot solve many problems in the class, which you would have otherwise liked to do to explain the concepts better. But that's also a problem. So you can see these are the limitations. And further, this method of teaching focuses more on examination, rote learning, and scoring high marks. This is the sad part. See, in India, I always believe that there is a rat race for scoring high marks in examinations. Everybody wants to score high marks, 90%, 95, 98, like that. This is the newspaper report. People getting more than 95% is in thousands. So much so that a student's mark sheet has now become a prestige sheet for the family, but a pressure sheet for the child. Very unfortunate. See, look at this survey which was done. This survey was done in 142 top private schools in 5 metros in India and 43 other countries. What they found that Indian students fared poorly in comparison to the students of other countries in reasoning-based and analytical questions. In reasoning-based and analytical questions, we were not good. However, Indian student did very well in questions requiring rote learning. So the question is, what is wrong with our teaching? See, our education system, as far as I think, does not encourage thinking, innovation, and creativity among students. Effective learning is missing. And that is also the reason. Now, you may ask why effective learning is missing. Because, learning, if you see cognitive learning, that is the knowledge which you acquire, that we call as a cognitive learning, is a 6-level hierarchy. Any learning starts from remembering, then understanding, and goes up to creativity. So these are the 6 learning outcomes of cognitive learning. And one starts from lower order thinking skill up to higher order thinking skill. So ideally, cognitive learning should take you from remembering up to creativity. But we do not do that. We focus mainly on the lower order thinking skills. So our traditional method focuses mainly on developing lower order thinking skill, remembering, understanding, and applying. Higher order thinking skills are missing. That's a serious problem. That is the reason why there is a dearth of creative minds and poor quality of research work in India. We have not been able to train our students to excel in research. We don't teach them for research. Please remember, children must be taught how to think, not what to think. This is missing in our education system. We need to encourage inquisitiveness and out-of-box thinking. That is why even the new education policy says there is a need of learner-centric education. We need to shift from teacher-centric to learner-centric education. The learner-centric education means you engage the learners. The thinking is learning is the product of activity of the learners. You engage the learners. Once students do things on their own, they will have a better learning. So this is the thinking behind learner-centric education. What? That the students will learn best when they are engrossed in the topic, motivated to seek out new knowledge and skills because they need them in order to solve the problems at hand. And all this is possible in information age. You can get any information just by a click of mouse. And once you engage the students, they will retain the information. So better engagement of learner will lead to better retention of learned information. Even experiential learning, what we say is the learning by doing, that's also a learner-centric. It leads to better understanding and boosts confidence. And in this learner-centric education, teacher plays a very important role. Because you act more like a guide or a mentor. Only then learner-centric education process will be successful. Look at this. If you look at the retention rate of various learning methods, experiential learning has 75% retention rate, whereas the lecture just has 5%. So that is the strength of experiential or learner-centric method. And learner-centric method is not any particular method. It involves various methods. For example, case studies or project-based or problem-based learning or collaborative learning or flipped classroom all come under learner-centric education. For example, let's try to understand. See, in traditional learning, what we tell students what they need to know, they will memorize it. Then we will assign a problem to illustrate how to use what they have memorized. That is what is done in traditional learning. But in the problem-based learning, you assign a problem to the students. Once the problem is assigned, let them think what they need or let them identify what they need to know in order to solve the problem. They will search. A teacher can guide them. Then they will learn that and then apply what they have learned to solve the problem. So that is the problem-based learning. Same thing in project-based learning. You have a group of students, you put them on a project. Project means you present to them a question that you work on this. They will try to find out what they need to know. They will do a lot of research and they will gather a lot of information. They will analyze the information and the knowledge which they get out of that information, they will use to solve the project. And then ultimately they will submit a project report. So they are doing everything on their own. Teacher may be guiding them at various levels wherever some problem comes. So this is a learner-centric education. Even collaborative learning is another example. I have some idea, you have some idea, we share our ideas and the best idea comes. There is a very famous TPS collaborative learning strategy, think, pair, share. Now, think means a problem is given to a student thinks over it and comes out with an idea. Then that student is paired with another student. Two of them share their ideas, listen to each other's idea, and then they together create new ideas. Then those two are made a part of a bigger group, where again they listen to the ideas, share their partners' ideas, and then create new ideas. So it's a collaborative learning strategy. It's something like turning your classroom into a collaborative learning community. Again, this is a learner-centric education. Even experiential learning, you can, implement in your classroom lectures, provided you work. Suppose you are going to deliver a lecture to your students. You should identify what are the objectives of that lesson. And then keeping those objectives in mind, you should design some learning activities. And then you should also plan how to assess whether students have understood what you wanted them to teach or not. All that you have to design. Then you do the next lecture, again you do, then the next lecture. That's how you plan a series of activities. So this will be like experiential learning in action in class. But this method will be successful only when we design activities and assignments which challenge the student's mind, which enhance creative thinking ability of the students, which improve their analytical skills and give students more time over their learning. And in doing all this, teacher has to play a very important. So, without teacher being very active, we cannot be successful in learner-centric education. They have to guide the students, take them along the right direction. And you know this in experiential learning or all, this is a very famous quote by John Dewey, who says, we do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. Experience plus reflection equals learning. E plus R equals L. So learner-centric education is very important. It will boost engagement. It will boost critical thinking. It will boost personalized learning, fostering 21st century skills. And that's what we all need. But there are many challenges in the implementation of learner-centric education. Why we are not able to implement in our country? These are some of the problems. See, we have teachers in the age group of 25 to 65 years. They represent different generations and perhaps different mindsets. That's a problem. Many of them are the product of the old system, which mainly focused on lower order thinking skills. And, you know, they show resistance to change, to new system. They are not ready. Many of them are not tech savvy, and they don't even want to become tech savvy. They don't want to embrace new pedagogies. All these are the challenges. And then for years, many of the teachers have been setting question papers, testing lower order thinking skill. That is remembering, understanding, and application. They don't go beyond that. Maybe they are not competent. And so the point is that the teachers need to change their mindset. If they are in a comfort zone, they need to come out of that. Don't think that what I know is enough. No, you must learn more. That should be your motto. So, you know, this was about learner-centric pedagogies, which are there now because of ICT. These are the part of the digital transformation. And now I come to part 3, where I will talk about flipped classroom model, which is a new blended learning approach. See, flipped classroom model was developed by these two people. They are, you know, two chemistry teachers of United States in a school, Jonathan Bergman and Aaron Sams. And this flipped classroom model is becoming very, very popular all over the world. It is called a blended learning approach. What is blended learning? Blended learning is that approach which combines face-to-face and online learning experience both. You learn from face-to-face and you learn from online learning experience. You use the best features of the two. It is blending the best of the two instructional pedagogies, online and face-to-face. That is blended learning. One thing you should remember, why blended learning is now talked about. Blended learning is possible because there are many online education tools which are available. Nobody talked about blended learning 5 years or 10 years back. But now many sources of knowledge are available. And then that is the reason why blended learning is possible. Look at these. These are the sources of knowledge which are now available. You have books both in the print and digital format. E-books are becoming very popular. Internet is there, which offers you so much information through websites, blogs, online libraries, YouTube channels. Then social media is another source. Then podcasts are there. Then online courses and MOOCs are there. They are another source of knowledge. Academic journals, documentaries, educational TV, then workshops, seminar, conferences, all of them are multiple sources of knowledge. So blended learning is possible because these are now existing. Earlier, it was thought that only teacher is the only source of knowledge, but not now. That's the change which has come. But here I also want you to know the difference between hybrid learning and blended learning. See, hybrid learning is when, you know, for example, I am delivering this lecture. I am in my office. You are at various parts of the country. You are attending my lecture virtually. You are remote learners. But suppose 5, 10 people are in my office, they are sitting before me, they are also attending to my lecture. So they are attending my lecture in a physical mode, you are attending my lecture in a remote mode, in a virtual mode. But both of them are attending to the lecture at the same time. But remote learners and face-to-face learners are different people. So this is called hybrid learning. Blended learning is, on the other hand, when, for example, I am delivering lecture to you virtually. You have learned something in an online mode. And after my lecture is over, you go to the Google or somewhere, YouTube, and add more knowledge to what I have told. So it is a blended learning. Learners are the same, but they are using different method. That is basically the blended learning. So this is the point you have to remember. And this flipped classroom is a blended teaching learning approach. So how does it work? Look at this. See, a teacher will create a video lecture on any topic, which he or she thinks it is good to explain to the student. The teacher will create a video lecture and share with the students. In the video lecture, the teacher can give some questions also. Maybe some lower order thinking skill question you can give. Student will watch that video lecture at home, solve that lower order thinking skill question. And if some things are not clear, the student will prepare questions for the teacher. Then when they come to the school or college, teacher will facilitate discussion and will answer students' questions. Students will ask questions and they will participate in the learning activities. So this is flipped classroom. The best demonstration of this is in this slide. You can see the difference now. First, let's concentrate on traditional method. In the classroom, teacher is delivering a lecture and giving some lower order thinking skill because students are learning for the first time. And then as homework activities, teacher can always give some problems which are dealing with the higher order thinking skills. But it's up to them whether they do it at home or not. That is the traditional method. But in the flipped classroom, teacher will give a video lecture or online lecture or internet lecture or any PowerPoint presentation. Student will watch at home. Teacher will also give some question. They will also do at home. But when they come to the class, they would have already learned the basic. Now teacher will sit and answer their queries and involve them in various activities and take them to higher order thinking skills. So you can see it is flipped, it is inverted. Lots were in the classroom, here lots are in the homework. Hots were earlier in the homework, here hots are in the class. That way the model is flipped. So that is the beauty of the flipped classroom model. That is how it works. Students watch a short lecture, complete some exercise, all that what I have said, that is all flipped classroom. But the biggest challenge in the flipped classroom model is, this you should know very well, the biggest challenge is what type of video will you develop? It should be a quality instructional video. Or what online material you give to them. That should be really quality and relevant. And it should be for the students as per the curriculum. That is one aspect. That is a big challenge. Because first of all, you should know these are the concepts which students are not clear. Let me make a video on that. Because you want to teach them. And then second is, teachers need to be professionally trained to adopt this new method, interactive teaching approach, flipped classroom, so that students acquire higher order thinking skills. So these are the major challenges of the flipped classroom model. And many teachers I know, they are already following flipped classroom model. But then initially you will have to work hard. Maybe after 1 or 2 years, things will settle down and then things will move smoothly. But initially you will have to work hard. This was my article on flipped classroom for 21st century learning needs. And this was in Education Times of the Times of India. And this is my research article on flipped classroom model in Indian Journal of Educational Technology. So a lot has been done. The purpose was to tell you that you should also come up to this level and develop new videos and embrace this learner-centric blended learning approach. This is very much important. Having said that, please remember, if we teach today as we taught yesterday, we are robbing our children of tomorrow. We will have to change with the changing times. Please remember that. There is no other way out. And now I come to the last part, and that is what is going to be the future of digital transformation in higher education. Because we have to be mentally prepared for that. See, one thing you should remember, as I mentioned earlier, technology in education is a journey. Technology is evolving every day because more and more scientific knowledge is coming. And technology is not a destination. Look at this, even in our mobile communication technologies, there has been the evolution from 1G up to 4G and 5G. This is showing that. Then India is presently in an era of Industrial Revolution 4 and Education 4, which is a total technology-mediated education. What does it mean? See, in history, there have been many industrial revolutions, as you can see from this slide. Industrial Revolution 1 took place in 1800, then 2, then 3. Currently, we are having Industrial Revolution 4 and 5. And for every industrial revolution, there is a corresponding education system. You can see. Because workforce for industrial revolution has to come out of the education system. Therefore, they are aligned with each other. That means industrial revolution, education system, and society, they are all interlinked. Because each industrial revolution creates a system of education which addresses its needs. Because industrial revolution, whenever industrial revolution occurs, education system will have to change so that they are aligned. And that will further bring about changes in the society. So that is what Industrial Revolution 4, Education 4, and Society 4, they are all the same, linked with each other. So the conclusion from this point is that technology is shaping education and society. So this is the point you have to keep it in mind. And now many new technologies are coming. Emergence of many new technologies. This is how the world will look like even in 2030. These are some of the technologies: artificial intelligence, robotics, virtual reality, Internet of Things, then augmented reality, data science, gamification, machine learning. These are the technologies of the future. And all these technologies are shown in this picture. These are the technologies that will drive the change in future. Look at this. At the top left side, artificial intelligence, then robotics, then autonomous vehicles. That means self-driven vehicles, then cloud computing, then Internet of Things, then 3D printing, then quantum computing, then biotechnology, then augmented reality and virtual reality. These are the future. And they will change the education system also. So you can see digital transformation is taking us to which direction. Now look at, for example, gamification is a technology. Gamification is based on the basic fact that learning process will achieve greater success if learning is based on gaming concepts. What are the gaming concepts? Competition, incentive, and goal attainment. That is how gamification works. So many games have been created in every discipline. You play and you learn. You play with the games and in the process you learn. That is the basic thinking of gamification. It will engage the learners. For example, in chemistry, these are some of the very popular e-learning games. Similarly, they are for other disciplines. So you can see where the world is moving. Then blockchain technology is another technology which is going to come in a big way in education. See, it's a system of recording information that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. It's like a digital ledger. No editing would be possible once a thing is stored in the blockchain technology. And the benefits of blockchain technology are greater trust, stronger security, higher efficiency, and transparency. This is going to be very ideal for storing academic data and records of the students. A student can even put its record and even some assignment in the blockchain technology. Nobody can touch it. It will never be lost. So that is the blockchain technology. Then metaverse is coming in education. Metaverse means it will enable you to attend classes virtually, but you will experience the elements of real class with the help of augmented reality and virtual reality. You are attending classes virtually, but you will feel as if you are sitting in the class. And this is also coming. This is the metaverse. It will make teaching learning more interactive. Then quantum computing is coming in a big way. It will produce computers which are very fast and efficient. Why we call it quantum computing? Because, they are based on quantum mechanical principle. Those who have been science students, they must be knowing that at small levels, at small scale, physical matter exhibits dual behavior, particle and wave character. We call it de Broglie equation. That is the quantum mechanical principle. It connects wave and particle character through Planck's constant. So that is the basis of quantum computing. It will be very, very fast. And when computers are fast, they will change the whole world. And then we are soon going to have the world's fastest internet. This Huawei company in China, it is coming out with the world's fastest internet, which can transmit up to 150 movies per second. Just remember, 1 second, 150 movies. And the speed is going to be 1.2 terabits. 1 terabit is 10 to the power 12. That's the speed where we are reaching. And if you look at our current speed, it is just this much, 7 to 8 Mbps. That means 10 to the power 6 megabytes. Some of the leading countries have this speed, 25 Mbps. But now China is coming with 10 to the power 12 terabits speed. So you can see how the whole digital transformation will change. And in the light of these technologies, what is going to happen to the future of learning in the 21st century? See, world will slowly move towards self-learning and personalized learning in the 21st century. Self-learning and personalized learning. Self-learning is going to be the new norm in the 21st century. Students, everybody will learn on their own. There will be so many sources, they can learn anything they want. And there is a report that by 2050, 90% of the student population will be in online education. Just imagine, perhaps nobody will come to university or college. Everybody will prefer to, study in an online mode. This is the change which is going to happen. Self-learning. Already it is occurring. Look at this. This was a report in Times of India on January 11 this year. That, growing popularity of self-learning. So many students are, earning credits from the free courses which are offered by IITs or IIMs on SWAYAM, MOOC courses. They enroll in these courses offered by these prestigious institutions and they are earning credits. They earn credits, they get certificate, they earn diploma, all that just by paying a nominal fee. And there are 390 programs which are offered by IITs and IIMs. The number of the candidates who have qualified, it has increased from about 3,800 to 1.2 lakh in 5 years. Just imagine. That's the growing popularity of self-learning. Students are learning on their own. They don't need teachers. This is a very big development. And then personalized learning is also coming. Artificial intelligence is transforming the world. Why we talk about personalized learning? Because, every learner is unique. Every learner has different needs, different comprehension rate, different learning capacity, different method of gauging information. And the world is slowly shifting towards personalized learning. Personalized learning means individualized learning. Just as a doctor gives prescription for every patient, similarly, personalized treatment, personalized learning will be like that. So personalized learning is an educational approach that aims to customize learning for each learner's strengths, needs, skills, and interests. What are your strengths? What are your needs? What are the skills which you have and what are your interests? Artificial intelligence will help you in knowing all that, and then personalized learning will come into picture. See, the basic thinking is, the reality is this, that the learning process is no longer linear and one size fits all. That is true. The learning process is not one size fits all, but what we have been doing is like one size fits all. When I deliver lecture in the classroom, I assume that every student will learn in the same way. That may not be correct. That is what happens in talk and chalk method. Even in online, we assume that all of you learn in the same way. That may not be true. Now we are coming to personalized learning where individuality of each individual will be considered. And this is a very big development. This is the ultimate. This is the most ideal way. Because in personalized learning, every student will get a learning plan that is based on what they know and how they learn best. It's a unique advantage which artificial intelligence can offer. And personalized experience will naturally improve the performance of students also. There is no doubt about that. And one more thing now I would like to come. I'm just in the last part of the talk. Just I will take 5 minutes more, 5 to 7 minutes. What will happen to the future of teaching profession? See, now people have started thinking that technology is becoming a threat to the teaching profession. Because some teachers now worry that perhaps there will be no students to teach anymore in near future. Because technology might take over teaching our students. Because there are so many sources of knowledge which are available now. Why will they come to the teacher? They will learn on their own. So the question is, what will happen to the future teaching profession? What will be the roles of the teachers? See, already robot teachers are coming. This robot teacher has been developed in India. This is an artificial intelligence empowered teacher. Here students can ask questions via commands. And then this robot teacher answers all the questions. So such teachers, may replace human teachers in future. And what all robot teachers can do, they are already programmed to communicate in the language learners speak. They will be able to teach as well as answer questions of the learners. They will never be tired. They will mark learners, record marks, as well as give instant feedback. And then they will play games with the learners and make learning more interesting and fun. So this is all what robot teachers can do. And the advantages of the robot teachers are always energetic, always on time, no sickness, not making any technical mistake, no favoritism because they have no feelings, they have no emotions. So these are the advantages. But despite all that, human teachers will always be required because it will be the human teachers who will be needed to update robots with information learner need to be taught. What information student need to be taught by the robot, this only human teachers can tell. Only human teachers can give empathy and motivation to the students. Only human teachers can solve disputes of the learners like a lawyer. Only human teachers can make learner feel better like a doctor. So human teachers will always be needed. Their roles may change because only a human teacher can bring real connection, socialization, and creativity to the class. So it's not surprising that in future, teachers may have to work hand in hand with robots in future. And that is the basis of Industrial Revolution 5, where we talk about cooperation between man and machine. Robots and humans will work together for more success. So world is already heading towards Industrial Revolution 5. And even MOOCs will also change. See, I told you about MOOCs. Presently, when you go to a MOOC, everybody gets the same content. It's like one size fits all. But in future, we are going to have smart MOOCs. They, depending on who is viewing them, the content will change. That is what we call dynamic content, e-content 2.0. Such things are also coming because of artificial intelligence. So you can see how the world is changing. So my message to all young colleagues and others is that teachers will have to change with the changing times. And ICT is providing an opportunity. See, the message is change with the changing times or face the consequences. Look at the fact, Kodak company became bankrupt because of the emergence of digital photography, because it did not change with the changing times. HMT, Bajaj, Dynora TV, Murphy Radio, Nokia Mobile, Rajdoot, Ambassador Car, they are hardly seen these days because they did not change with the changing times. The same thing is for teachers. You have to change with the changing times, focus more on research and other things which I have told. This is my article in Education Times about how Education 4.0 will work for coming generations. So the message is never stop learning. Rather, inspire your students to be lifelong learners by being one. This is all about our e-content development. This is about the MOOCs which we have developed. This is the report in Times of India. This is about our chemistry work. This is about my editorial on the world of e-learning, again in Times of India. This is end of talk and chalk regime in the country, again in the Times of India. It's mainly about our work. This is in Hindustan Times about UGC MOOCs. This is my another article, why the Indian education system must focus on innovating its teaching approach. Then using ICT creatively in higher education. This is my another article. This also. So you can see the world is changing very, very fast. prudence demands that you change with the changing times. Otherwise, you will be left behind in the race. That is the message which I want to give to you. So thank you very much. Please give your feedback in the chat box. That is most welcome. And if you have any query, anything, you can always contact me. My cell number is there. My email ID is there. You can always remain in touch with me. And all the best to you. Any query, anything, any comment, any suggestion, you can unmute and talk to me. Most welcome. And I can see some of the comments in the chat box. Thanks a lot for appreciation. But appreciation will mean only if you also change with the changing times. That is very important. Anybody wants to say anything or comment anything or any message, most welcome. And I personally feel, I have been delivering talks all over the country. Most of the participants at various centers, they are with their videos on. It looks more lively. Otherwise, it looks as if you are speaking to nameplates in various windows. That should not be the case. Interactivity helps. Please switch on, keep your videos on. What's wrong? You can always have a virtual background if you want, but it's always good. It looks that you are speaking to some people whom you can see. Any comment by anybody? Any suggestion? Anything? Nothing. It means either nothing is clear or everything is clear. And best thing is you unmute and ask the question. Introduce yourself, ask the question. You are all teachers, You should come forward.
So participant, you can unmute themselves. I have permitted all participants.
Good evening, sir. This is Chitra Rajas.
Who is speaking? Please speak louder and introduce yourself. And switch on your video if possible.
Good evening, sir. This is Chitra.
Yes.
Thank you for a very informative session, sir. I'm sorry for my camera is not being enabled, so I'm not able to switch on the camera.
No
so
problem.
Apologies for that.
Where are you from?
I'm from Chennai, sir.
Okay.
My question is, the technology we are talking about, how do you think this is reachable for the rural people? Because technology is not that very much viable with the rural communities, rural students. So how far this would be enabled or will enhance the learning in the rural area or the rural students? Thank you, sir.
See, already a lot of efforts have been made in our country. And internet connectivity, if you look, I think 80 to 90% of our country's population is now having internet connection, including rural areas. And I'm not surprised that within next 2-3 years, we will have 100% internet connectivity. And students will slowly come to know about technology. They are already. Just as at one time people talk the same thing about mobiles, but now everybody has a mobile. Rather, if you find a person without mobile, that looks surprising. The same thing will happen. Because, this technology is going to be very, very useful. It totally changes the way you work. And I'm very sure that this is going to reach every corner of the country in the next couple of years. Rather, you should also all encourage, motivate. Because it offers you so much benefits. It saves a lot of your time. It's ultimately the race against time. And various ICT learner-centric pedagogies which I talk, they are possible only with the help of technology. They will not be possible otherwise. So as a teacher, it's also your role to popularize these things and make teachers, students know what are the benefits. I personally feel sometimes students know much more than teachers as far as the use of technology goes. Even small child sometimes knows how to send a message or all that. So, things are changing very, very fast. The problem is many of us have started living in a comfort zone. They don't want to change. That's creating a big problem in our education system. There is a resistance to change. That should not happen.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any other question? Any other comment?
Good evening, sir. Hello. Hello.
Thanks once again to all the participants who have given very nice messages in the chat box.
Hello.
Yes, please come in.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Varad Bhange.
What's your name?
Varad.
Okay, Bharat. Introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Dr. Varad Bhange from Maharashtra.
Okay,
I'm assistant professor for management department.
okay.
So there is always a crisis between environment and technology. So how we can deal with that?
There is a crisis between.
Environment and technology.
So what do you mean by that? Could you elaborate? What do you mean how technology is adversely affecting the environment? That is what you mean?
Yes. Mostly there is a conflict that environment technology is affecting badly. So how we can consider that problem?
So, we will have to be concerned about sustainable development in the country, because sustainable development is one of the major burning issue in the world at present. And you must be knowing that United Nations has given 17 sustainable development goals.
Yes.
And one of the goal ultimately is to prevent environmental degradation. And this environmental degradation is caused by many things, including technological advancements. And slowly, the countries in the world are working in that direction, how to get rid of that environmental degradation, pollution, even plastic pollution. This year, we had a World Earth Day on 22nd April, and the main theme of this World Earth Day was planet versus plastics. How plastics are contributing to environmental degradation. And look at that, people don't cooperate. Although Indian government has already banned plastic, but people are still using it. The same thing is happening in many technological advancements also. We need to make people aware of what are the challenges in all this. Because awareness is missing amongst the masses. What are the positive aspects and what are the negative aspects? Technology has many positive aspects, but also many negative aspects. We need to curb them down. So I think slowly it will happen, but it cannot certainly happen overnight. But I appreciate your concern. That's very important. Thank you.
Yes, sir. One more thing is that could you please, the technological advancement is affecting on employment, as many industrial work transfer to the machinery and human resource will be decreased. So could you please put some your insights on that?
See, technological advancements are changing the world of work. When I say they are changing the world of work, it means, slowly the skills which are required, they are changing. But we are not able to change accordingly. When I say the world of work is changing, the skills which our students acquire through education system and the skills which industries require There is a big gap between the two. That is creating an unemployment. There are many skills which are very much in demand, but you do not find skilled people. For example, artificial intelligence skills, they are very much in demand, but our education system is not encouraging. Only very recently, the first artificial intelligence university has come in the country. Then there are so many digital skills. Because, the job landscape on the country is changing. Therefore, our education system needs to change to meet the requirements of the demands of the industry. That is not happening. That is what I said in one of my talks in my slide, that workforce for industrial revolution have to come out of the education system. But that's not happening in our country. Our education system is still outdated. Sometimes we are teaching 19th century content to the 21st century students. How will you expect them to do good in the jobs? So there is a big responsibility on all of us that we must change with the changing times. Because knowledge in all disciplines is growing very, very fast. Please remember one thing. There was a time when human knowledge was doubling in 150 years. But now human knowledge is doubling in just 73 days. That means as soon as you create a curriculum, it gets outdated. That's the fastness. But we are not changing. So we blame the unemployment or all that, but job landscape is changing and we must change. Educational institutions and industries, they should work together. We need to have skill-based and industry-led curriculum. Only then these jobs will be met. That's what I want. Thank you.
So much.
Thank you very
Hello,
much.
sir. Hello.
Hello, who is speaking? Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Professor Kokate from Nasik, Maharashtra.
Yes. Good evening.
So it was very nice to see you and the nice presentation. Really, it has given the chemistry of the ICT to energize everyone in the audience. Thanks to your presentation and your knowledge exploration in this session. But my request to you is just put the light on these terminologies: invention, innovation, and disruption the technology. When to call it as a disruptive technology?
See, disruptive technology is that when a system is already in existence and a new technology comes which totally changes the way we interact with the rest of the world. For example, even email was once a disruptive technology. Because before email came, we were still doing correspondence with each other, but there were many other ways. But once email came, it totally changed the way we, communicate with one another. So at that time, email was a disruptive technology. And now artificial intelligence is a disruptive technology. So various technological advancements at different times have been disruptive. They disrupt the existing system and start something new, which is totally different. That is what I mean by disruptive technology. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Maybe if time permits, sometimes I will deliver a talk in NEP orientation. I delivered a talk at one point on skill development in India. There totally all these pictures come, but this was not a part of the talk in this lecture. But maybe sometimes we will meet on some platform and I will deliver that talk. Because this is one talk which I give, and then other is challenges in higher education for our teachers. That comes under higher education and society. What are the challenges which teachers have to face in the 21st century? That's a very important talk. Maybe if time sometimes permits, or if we meet at some level, we will certainly discuss that. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Bakhshi sir. Good evening.
Okay. Vimal, you have come?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm taking your time. No, but almost.
Yes, A very good evening to respected Vimal Ram ma'am, and
Yeah.
a lot of thanks and appreciation to our respected resource person, Professor A.K. Bakhshi sir, for giving such a nice talk. Indeed, sir, we require your expertise in the challenges faced by the teachers in higher education. So indeed, we will see that if are available, we will definitely have a word with you that we can have an interaction with the participants on the one of the important issue, that is the problems of teachers in higher education.
Sure.
So it was really a nice session, sir. And on behalf of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, Marathwada University, my sincere thanks to you, sir, for sparing your valuable time.
Thank you very much. And thanks to Dr. Rafe, as well as to you, and also to your director, I think Professor Patil, for giving me this opportunity. And it's a pleasure indeed to be a part of this program.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
it is an our honor, sir, that always you spare your valuable time to our
No, it's a
teachers.
pleasure. Please, so nice of you. Thank you very much. And then over to, I think, for the next session, Professor Vimal is already there. So all the best to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes. So the resource person for this another session, Dr. Vimal Ra. Before going to his introduction, one of the important thing is that the guidelines drafted by the University Grants Commission of UGC Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. So Professor Vimal Ra ma'am was one of the members. So it is really an honor to have an association with her as a resource person to our Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center. So whatever guidelines are being framed by the University Grants Commission, one of the member was Dr. Vimal Ra ma'am. So Professor Vimal Ra, MSc, PhD, Chemistry, Delhi University, postdoctorate from IIT Delhi, INSA Best Teacher Award. She is currently Director, Malviya Mission Teachers Training Center, University Grants Commission, Ministry of Education, and also Professor, Department of Chemistry, SGTB, Khalsa College, and Coordinator for National Resource Center of Chemistry of MHRD. So indeed, it is really a pleasure and honor for all of us to have her here as a resource person. So again, I welcome her to this late evening session of this NEP orientation and sensitization course. And now I would hand over the session to her. Over to you, ma'am.
So, good evening, everyone. And first of all, again, I am thankful to all the organizers of this particular NEP orientation program from Babasaheb Ambedkar University, Marathwada. And again, it's a pleasure because after making the guidelines, it's really good to see at ground level and what all changes we need to do. Especially if all of you know, and already Professor Bakhshi has set up the pace in terms of the ICT modules half part he has introduced. Let me take you to the journey where as teachers now we have to embrace all these changes. Okay. So myself being a practicing teacher and have created more than 50 MOOCs, and how this e-content is going to be instrumental in our own classroom delivery rather than, I'll say it will be empowering us. Fine. So that's how I plan to take my session. And what I'm doing is a chat. Yeah, chat is available. So any thoughts which are coming in your mind, you can write in between. I'll keep on looking them. And later on, we can have question answer session as well. Fine. So let me just share my screen. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So thank you so much. As Professor Bakhshi was mentioning just now that we all need to change. I will start with the change, and it's not that the first time we are being asked to change. If we look at the hallmark of education system, it changes with time, and it has to change with time because whatever are the new requirements of the entire society, we are actually providing the educated human resources to meet all those, whether it is in the different industries, the society as a whole, and all this requires us to be looking at what are the changes that we have to take. And let me take you back to the Gurukul time. I think this is what we can all recall, that this is way the teaching, learning used to happen. There are many positive points, but my humble question to all of you is, can we have this type of scenario right now? This one may say that this is a residential trial. You see, there's a life skills also being embedded in the student. The teacher-student ratio is very good. But then there were many challenges. There were stories like Eklavya, and this type of teaching learning was not accessible to everyone. So the equity and access was missing to a great extent. We may say at that time, not everyone was aspirational to go into learning, but then, yes, Swapnil rightly said, in the current scenario, this is impossible to even think of this type of education system. But then we are talking about the Indian knowledge systems, the values which we have to embed, and this is one of the very important module which has been added in this very particular NEP orientation as well. But then both the Indian knowledge system and the technology have to go hand in hand, and let us see how. As we had more demand for the education, the number of students in our classroom, they increased. And thanks to these green boards and the blackboards, takhti, kalam, is tarah ki cheezein technology aayi. And then we started using them in our classroom environment. And yes, the things which this type of guru was not able to show to many students, because he was writing on leaves or stones, with the advent of technology, this is also a technology, isn't it? Not ICT, but it is a technology. So with the help of green board, blackboards and all, we were able to provide the education to more. Now think of the plight of these teachers, जो आँख से आँख मिलाकर शिष्य के साथ बैठे हैं. Now we are more towards the board. And with the help of projector, now we again come back in front. But then, till where we are standing near the board, it's a teacher-centric model, and we have to change this. 2020, we had the worst phase for the mankind that we can recall, Corona pandemic. And this is the time where all our colleagues learn technology. But now, once we are back in the classroom, we should not leave the learning, rather improve upon that and take it further to the models which have been advocated in the National Education Policy 2020 with the help of technology. Teachers try to share the content by recording their videos in this. I've deliberately, I have hidden the face of the teacher. I respect all my colleagues, and I rather say I'll appreciate whatever efforts our entire community has done to reach out to our students is remarkable. But then we need to learn proper methods to make it even better. Arun Kohli, I'll request you to please look at, I think, whether you are doing accidentally or what you are writing on the board. So maybe you can, who is the admin, you can stop that particular annotation. So if we look at how we have moved from here, and now we know the entire, without the technology which our students will require in each and every walk of their life, leave the professional requirements everywhere. You look at yourself, no single act, even if you have to buy something very small thing, we have to go into the digital way. And higher education problems can also be overcome with the help of technology, whether it is in terms of the quality or equity or access. And yes, we all have to prepare ourselves to this future of the classroom teaching, where we as human teachers are standing with the robot teacher. The robot teacher is a reality in one of the schools in Bangalore. I'm talking about India. And this will be the real future. And the future is here. If not the robot, the AI tools are acting as robots for all of you. So anything which these robots can do, if we are doing, I think we are making ourselves redundant, and we have to change ourselves, not only in terms of how the technology can be used, but using technology, what are the better blended models of learning which need to be integrated. So let me take you to the very important points made in National Education Policy 2020. It says the policy notes that one of the central principles steering the education system will be extensive use of technology in teaching learning, removing language barriers, increasing access, as well as education planning and management. And it says it all, right from the admission process to the teaching, learning, the assessment, and everything. The technology is going to play a very important role. And to know more details about what all has been written, I'll be covering a very important aspect. But in these two chapters in this policy document, they talk about technology, that is the technology use and integration, and online and digital education, ensuring equitable use of technology. NEP 2020 document says that the relationship between technology and education at all levels is bi-directional. I like to give one example here. What we mean by this, maybe Professor Bakhshi also may have covered this part. I will be using it more from the tools perspective. So it is not that only technology is coming and we are getting benefit from that. The moment we start using the technology based on our inputs, the students' input, the technology also keeps on revising. For example, if through online mode, I share my video to the students in a YouTube channel, I will be not able to know whether the student has watched or not. And there may be some students who will just keep on playing कि हाँ मैंने तो देख लिया video, but as a teacher I will like to know whether that video has been really watched or not. So if you put it on learning management system, so learning management system got created, then as a teacher I can log in and say that yes, the student has logged in and watched for how many duration. Now even that may चला के और छोड़ दिया बच्चे ने, that can happen. Now, again, now there is an input given to the technology, and now there is something called as HP5, where in between the video, you can put questions. Unless or until the question have been rightly answered, the student will not be shown the further, वो play करके सो नहीं सकता है. So that's how it is bi-directional. So not only the education system is getting benefit from the technology also keeps on improving based on the inputs and all the assessment. Even if you look at the proctor examination and all, they are getting regular inputs that what are the human tendency and how they can manipulate the system. Accordingly, the technology is getting improved day by day. National Education Technology Forum is already established now, which was mentioned to be established, and this is already there, and it will be looking at all the guidelines, and accordingly, even the Parakh, the assessment centers, NTA is already there, which is conducting various entrance examination, including CUET. Blended models of learning are clearly advocated, and it is mentioned that while promoting digital learning and education, so don't be in the impression कि सब कुछ digital हो, ऐसा नहीं होगा. Fine. Human element will be always very important, but we have to change the nature of the human element, which is there in our roles. So while promoting digital learning and education, the importance of face-to-face in-person learning is fully recognized. Accordingly, different effective models of blended learning will be identified for appropriate replication for different subjects. And there will be laying down of standards in terms of which type of technology, which type of platform, and how different boards also of the schools will also be guided by this National Education Technology Forum. It also clearly says that teachers require suitable training and development to be effective online educators. It cannot be assumed that a good teacher in a traditional classroom will automatically be a good teacher in an online classroom. And teachers will undergo rigorous training in learner-centric pedagogy on how to become high-quality online content creator themselves using online teaching platforms and tools. It means जो हमारे जो teachers होते थे, they used to be more comfortable in making notes very quickly from different books. Now that role will be shifting to making digital content for our students in different formats, and there will be emphasis on the teacher's role in facilitating active student engagement with the content and with each other. Now this line says it all, that the content will play center role in empowering the teachers and the students, and the teacher role will be to provide that content as well as ensure that using that content, how the knowledge can be improved, not simply at the remember level, but to understand, apply, analyze, evaluate, and to the create level, which are the higher order thinking skills as per the Bloom's taxonomy. There are various terms also mentioned in this very particular module of yours. I'll acquaint you with these particular terms as well. One is computer-assisted instruction. This is something I will say it is almost like 2 decades back, we could use this terminology. It is the use of computer to provide instruction directly to the learner. And examples of these applications include drill, practice exercises, which can be done on screen, the different visualization, and computer facilitated communication between students and teacher. And when you apply this on learning, this is the CAL, that is computer assisted learning. There is also another term associated which you should be aware. It is computer managed learning. And this is something to do with the database management, because in our institutions, we have so much data of the students, their admissions, their records of the assignment, different examination that we keep on taking, so their marks and all. So how all this, along with some teaching material and the learning sequence, then that will be called as the computer managed learning. You are using computer to manage your teaching learning aspect. But nowadays, this is computer based learning. So entirely now the shift is happening more on computer. So computer based learning is the term used for any kind of learning with the help of computers. Computer based learning makes use of interactive elements of the computer application and software, and the ability to present any type of media to the user. And here comes e-learning, gamification, webinars, video conferencing, virtual reality, videos, podcasts, etc. And daily we are evolving new technologies into. So now if you look into that, all this we need to know and then take ahead. It's not that technology integration we have just started after the corona or by the launch of these programs in order to understand the national education policy, where technology is being talked in so sincere way, I will say. But then at central government level and as well as various state level government level, almost from last 2 decades, there have been efforts in integrating technology with higher education. And many models have evolved and have been replicated as well. MOOCs is a reality. It was there in 2015. It's a pre-corona thing. Fine, it's a pre-policy thing. But now they are coming center stage, that how using MOOCs, the students can earn credit apart from other credits which they can learn. So up to 40% courses So this was increased in 2021. Note that this is after the policy. It was introduced in 2016, where up to 20% credits could be earned by the student. But even till date, if you analyze so many institutions, they are not aware and these are not getting exploited in a proper way. Many times teachers fear कि ये MOOCs आ जाएंगे तो हमारी job खत्म हो जाएगी. Please, I think you have to first understand it in a broad way. If you have to increase the gross enrollment ratio and your institutions, the infrastructure, physical infrastructure is same. Now, how do you increase that? You will have to take the help of technology, and by adding up to 40% MOOCs, you can take more number of students. That is point number one. Other thing is the type of courses that you are doing inside your campus. Now they have to be skill courses as well, value-added courses also. They require more face-to-face and hands-on interaction. The internship where the students will be going out of the institution, putting time with the industry. So now to give the learner so much scope, the theoretical courses can be put up online. That's the best model that you can learn. So we as institutions, we have to take this 40% provision, not that कि अब जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं, we'll remove these teachers and we'll put this into online. No, you have to look at that how qualitative improvement can be done and how the gross enrollment ratio can also be increased by taking the provisions of providing credits through these books. Also, fully online degree programs have started. I was the member of the committee of formulating these guidelines in 2018, and later on in 2020, these have been combined with the open and distance learning education. So there is a single regulation now, and any university which meets stringent parameters of the quality in these, also having NAC more than 3.26 and existing for more than 5 years, even not only for overall, but for that very particular program as well. So those who are interested, some of you may be from the universities who will like to offer that, fit into this, then read this regulation, you'll be able to know. And this is again a pre-corona thing, the pre-NEP thing that we are talking about. Also, the dual degrees is a reality. Now, if you look at the concept of dual degrees, here also, one degree can be done by the students in online way and one can be done offline. Now, why there is a need? Because of the systems that we have in admission process. In the admission, every student cannot get the course of his or her choice. But if in the online mode where there is no, usually we don't put any entry requirement. So any student who just meet the requirement to be entered, like if it is a commerce subject, some pre-learning should have been done in that very particular subject. But then apart from that, if he or she meets that criteria, there are no cut-offs type of thing where we deprive our students into coming into the campus. But then here, that very particular subject can be learned through the dual degrees. Also, small credits through different online courses can be all earned, and academic bank of credits. We are now talking about a system where the student can learn right sitting in their home, different courses as per their choice, and convert them equivalent to a bachelor's degree. So these all are the changes which are possible only with the help of technology. But then who is going to implement them? The regulations are there. Who will make these courses, who will run these courses is only the teachers. And how you can have better pedagogies for your classroom, blended learning, as well as for the purely online learning. You need to convert yourself into tech-savvy teachers. And that's where comes the role of e-content. And this is also clearly written in the policy as well as in the detailed syllabus of this module that we have to cover in these particular sessions in this NEP orientation and sensitization program. So when we talk about e-content development, it has to be in some structured form. And the one structured format which has been accepted by each PG Pathshala project, and then for MOOCs is the 4-quadrant approach. I'll be touching upon that part also. And all this content will be useful not only for the online courses, but also for the MOOCs, as well as, most importantly, which I see the transformational nature to have the quality, is in the form of the blended learning. So very simple thing, what is blended learning? If you are simply teaching learning with your students in offline mode, the face-to-face mode, no technology is used, then you are doing just a simple classroom teaching learning. If you are using only technology, like in this program, we are not meeting face-to-face, but the learning is happening. So this is purely online course that you are attending. Now, if you mix both the components, some technology tools, it can be for the videos, or it can be some live sessions, it can be some quizzes. So different tools are there. And once you know different tools, then you can make your own blend. Blend is something which is mix. Fine. So that is called as the blended learning. But then what is the requirement of this, the so-called visual content? Let me touch upon that. And this screen, I will request all of you to please take a screenshot and show it to your students in the very first class, that when they are coming to you, if you are restricting yourself in the lecture mode, whether you are taking the blackboard, green board, or PowerPoint, doesn't matter. If you are talking predominantly in your class, you are using lecture mode, there will be only 5% learning which will be happening from the student point of view. And the problem of Indian education system is that 99% classroom are using this lecture mode. This is what has to change. Now, how the learning gets improved from the learner point of view, and our teachers also used to tell कि नहीं सिर्फ क्लास के हमारे लेक्चर से कुछ नहीं होगा. I hope I am okay if I am bilingual. Can I see some responses? I hope all of you are there. Yes, no? In the chat, can I see some responses coming? Yes, you're there. Yogita and others. Okay, thank you. So now, if the student goes at home, and that's why we say, go to library, read more books, make notes and all, that will increase to 10%. And मजे की बात देखो, we have 97% number coming. Fine, mark. That is actually out of 10%. Because we are not using the other methods where better learning happens. If that would have been the case, if after 5 years you ask that student to give that exam again, they would have scored the similar number. It is not possible. The day they give exam, uske 2 दिन बाद सारा खाली. That type of rote learning is happening because of this lecture mode, and then reading jahan ratta lagate hain bacche. Now this has to decrease, and we have to increase more, because the moment students are here, this is the passive mode. The students are just relaxed and they are watching, और हमारी क्लास में शायद सो भी रहे होते हैं. Now how to engage them? You have to take audio visual help. So all the lecture mode can be converted into audio visual, and now you get the time for demonstration, for discussion group, practice by doing. And if you go to teach others, which we are doing, must be wondering, 25-30 साल, हाँ, हमें अपना subject बहुत अच्छी तरह आ जाता है. Do our students have that 4-5 years में वो, do you expect that will happen? No way. So if you involve students, then they become active, and that's where the real learning is happening. So all those, just introspect your classroom. किसी institution में corridor में घूम के देखो, 90% time teacher blackboard के पास खड़ा रह के और वही चीजें लिखता है जो 1 मिनट के अंदर हमारी चैट जीपीटी में मिल जाती है, और हम सारे अपना टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे होते हैं, बहुत शिद्दत के साथ लगे होते हैं, पहले नोट्स बनाते हैं और इन नोट्स को ब्लैक बोर्ड पे लगाते हैं या पावर पॉइंट पे लगाते हैं और उनको बोलते हैं और बच्चा उसको फिर नोट्स बनाता है और उसके रट्टे लगा के, लेकिन होता जो होता कुछ नहीं है. So in order to improve the quality, now this technology is going to help, and the strategy is you convert all your lectures into audio visuals. Take the flipped classroom methodology, and that is what I am going to tell you in the next slide. This is our joint publication, myself and Prof. Bakhshi, where how to convert this traditional mode into the flipped model, which can be used in the blended mode, and taking this revised Bloom's taxonomy of educational objectives in the center. That our aim is how we can increase the thinking level of the students from this lower level, which is understand and remember, to the higher level, which is taking them to create something new. Now, what is happening in a traditional classroom is, look in your classroom, a school scenario, leave your class also. All of you must be having your kids who have gone to the school or who are going to the school. होता क्या है, and कि टीचर क्लास में कंटेंट इंट्रोड्यूस करेगा नया. होप आई एम फाइन व्हेन आई एम bilingual, or should I be only in English medium? Yes, can I get some response from the participants? Hope there is no one from southern part of our country. Otherwise, I'll stick to the English medium. Hindi mein theek hai? If there is some objection, please let me know. Then I'll stick to English. Okay, thank you. So, क्या हो रहा है school system में? That the teacher will introduce the content which is there in all the books, taking NCERT, जो भी help, सब कुछ दिया हुआ है. Okay, so the teacher will be doing that part, explaining. Fine, remember explaining तक आ जाएगा. एक दो न्यूमेरिकल सॉल्व हो जाएंगे, एक दो प्रॉब्लम, और बाकी सारी होमवर्क में प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व करने के लिए बच्चे जी अब तू जा, आस्क योर पेरेंट्स, रात के 12 बजे आएंगे तब तेरा होमवर्क करवाएंगे, नहीं आते हैं तो जाओ कोचिंग सेंटर में जाओ. व्हाट इज हैपनिंग टू द फर्स्ट जनरेशन लर्नर्स? कैन देयर पेरेंट्स डू द लर्निंग टू देम, हेल्प देम? नॉट एट ऑल. एंड दैट इज व्हाट इज flourishing of coaching centers. If we can make coaching centers zero in our country, that will be the day when we can proudly say our education system has improved. Can we work towards that? I'll give you a model. So outside the class, we are telling him or her to apply that concept, analyze, evaluate, create की तो बात ही नहीं करते हम. These are missing to a great extent based on various research and the hue and cry, which in every policy, not only NEP, the previous policy also have been talking about there needs to be a qualitative improvement. But with the help of technology, we have got now wonderful opportunity, and more so after Corona, where predominantly all of us have become tech savvy. Now, the model which we are proposing with the help of Flip platform is that the teacher guided self-learn e-content. So you have to identify कि ये वाला existing video can be given, or if there is not, then you should know how to create your own video. There are tools which you can do it, no studio required. You can do it right sitting in your home, in your simple laptop. Provide that content to the students, tell them to watch that in groups, and inside the class, वो जो सारी problem solving है, ensure they are doing right in front of you. Wherever they are having problem, you have to be helping them. So here, now the discussion happens between student, the teachers, the innovation, thinking, creativity, project, all. And this is the way where we can make the teacher-centric model go to the learner-centric, where learners become active. The rote learners will be converted into active learners. Earlier, the classroom was just based on one teacher, and now with the help of good quality content, which can come from anywhere, because books have their limitation. The printed medium has limitation. If you say this can be done with the help of print, no, it cannot be done. The way you explain in your class, आप उसको capture करो. So that will be able to replace your classroom delivery, the lecture mode, and then you can go further. Otherwise, आप वहीं अटके रहोगे और बोलोगे वो जी syllabus ही खत्म नहीं होता, इसके आगे हम कहाँ जाएं? So we have to be now preparing ourselves to go into this type of blended learning model, but it will not be possible if we are having no digital content with us. You should also know the terms synchronous and asynchronous modes when we use these online platforms. Synchronous means it is in real time. So right now, when I say 7th June 2024 at 7 p.m., I am delivering the lecture in synchronous mode and all of you are attending from different locations. But if this lecture is recorded and then we share it to you and you watch this recorded lecture, maybe रात के 12 बजे आपको अच्छा टाइम लगता है लर्निंग का, सुबह 5 बजे, अगले दिन, एक हफ्ते बाद, एक महीने बाद. So asynchronous will mean that the students can learn this in different time. Now here also I will advocate a model that with these Zoom type of things, now the things are so simple. 40 minute की तो free license available है. So any class that you are having where you are telling something, one way thing, you want to record that, some students are absent, record that and tell your students to join in synchronous mode as well as give them recorded and put it on the learning management system so that those who are slow learners will be able to watch this again and again. So start with that. Gradually, you'll be able to collect the resources for the blended learning model I'm telling you, so that you keep on getting more time for the activities with your student. And definitely for the implementation, you have to see what type of infrastructure, the access devices are there for your students. Accordingly, evolve the models. E-content, MOOCs are required, but more important is the proficiency of teacher. And for e-content, I hope you are aware. If not, please look into the CAS 2018, which are the right now prevalent conditions for us for our promotional requirements from one level to other. This point number 3 is all added, which is around your contribution in development of innovative pedagogy or the MOOCs or the e-content. And the e-content developed in 4 quadrants per module is 5 API. And if you compare it with the research paper, where you have 8 or 10 points, depending upon whether it is a science or a humanities paper. And this is now an incentive to the teachers, the recognition, because just like the books, why teachers create book? Because we can preserve our knowledge and share it with more. So similarly, now the videos are even a better mode where you can create and preserve yourself. जो हमारे blackboard की सारी चीजें तो wash out हो जाती हैं. So think that how you can preserve and then use the better models to take it further. Now, in order to go into that model, I will actually stop share and reshare again, because this line, I think it will be removed. Yes, now that annotation has gone. So e-content is defined as the multimedia content which can be typically delivered on the World Wide Web. There are many access devices, but now what type of content you should create? You should keep in mind that your students will be using more of the mobile phone. Fine. Initially, 2 decades back, if I talk about, they were concept, M-learning was different, e-learning was different, but now everything by default, every learning is M-learning, I'll say, because these smartphones have become so accessible, जहाँ पे battery charge भी अब इतनी आसानी से it can go into long hours, and they are available at low cost also. Looking at the rural background of a student, जहाँ पे light की problem हो सकती है and all, so all those problems can be overcome with that. And there are different forms of the content, but somehow this video is taking center stage because of its own merits. and the students, they find easier to understand a video. साथ में simulations, interactive thing, and now augmented and virtual realities are also coming. But some students still prefer कुछ ना कुछ text material होना चाहिए. And if you are looking for some database and also all this, so what I will say is you should be knowing what all type of digital content can be there, but with your own subject, how it can be really combined is something you have to see. In order to prepare any e-content, we start with the static content, and the journey which goes into enrichment of it with multimedia, it will consist of making videos, adding audios, animations, simulations, visuals, graphics of high end, and then we publish it and make it as a e-content. But then you have to keep in mind different requirements from your subject's point of view as well as the technical. Because one may simply say, if you look into the various educational content in your own subject. I hope all of you have watched. If not, I will recommend. देखो जहाँ पे भी हो, YouTube में हो या किसी organization का हो, स्वयं portal पे है, and so many now contents are available. What you will see is some videos are predominantly filled up with one type of technique. I'll say लिखते जा रहे हैं तो लिखते ही जा रहे हैं. Now that becomes very boring for the learner. And what I am going to show you is, I'm going to show you some video and look at that, which is what we created. So some glimpses. In the year 2018, so ये table और पीछे background सब नकली है. So I'm showing you that how you can get idea that how can we go into which technology to create these type of things. I'll take you further. And look at the visuals. There is no पूरा का पूरा paragraph नहीं डाला हुआ है हमने. There is more visuals and less text, just as points. You can see here, Francis H. Arnold, George P. Smith, and Sir Gregory P. Winter. Then going further, look at this.
In any teaching and learning situation, one is the curriculum, another is the teacher, and the third is the learner. But before we design the curriculum, there are 4 fundamental questions that must be answered by us. I would talk only about the preamble of the Constitution.
So depending upon what we are talking about, the visuals, and they really add impact to the learner's mind. Look how we are taking the help of PowerPoint
We
to
prepare
put
our own
important
turmeric
points.
paper, wrote
This is the recording of some experiment. So the shooting is just focusing on what has to be shown, not on कई बार होता है पूरी की पूरी लैब की फोटो ले रहे हैं दूर खड़ा होकर कैमरा और कुछ दिखता नहीं है. Animations are there. Look at this.
Therefore, there were limitations of this atomic.
I'm just scanning through. You can have field videos. आपकी subject में see some
Units.
person has contributed or some official. Like here we approached Director CSIR because at that time the SI units had changed. And he is the person who, not person, but at his position, this position then represents India into the SI units at the global level when they are getting changed. So, ये बात हम भी बोल सकते थे. But then when the person like him, who are in the position of authority, who went there and they are sharing experience, that makes a better impact. Similarly, I'll show you one more field video, which is, we went to, this is, he's a doctor in AIMS, cardiologist. I was talking about oils and fats in the module, and I could also have said that saturated fats and trans fats are bad and they will clog your heart and so on. But then if a person like him talking, it makes a more serious impact. याद करो ना कोरोना के टाइम पे जब वो गुलेरिया डॉक्टर गुलेरिया आ रहे थे तो ये इम्पैक्ट हमारा अलग होता था. And if the same thing is being said by someone else, so try to see in your own field when you're sharing information, who are the stalwarts, who are the people of authority. If you can capture their video, छोटा सा काम है, अपना स्मार्टफोन लगाया और वो ले आए. So even if the quality of the video is less, but the quality of input it will do is going to be tremendous. Similarly, here we are having some screen capture. See,
as on the left, and layered structures like in graphite shown in the right.
so nothing in imagination. Even it's a layered structure. We are telling that this is how the layered structure is there. So what inside microscope and all, now there's so many visuals. So don't leave anything for imagination to the student. You can put visuals and that makes your classroom delivery enhanced multiple times.
And
no classroom delivery can match these type of lectures. Then you can have some animations, which I was talking about, some accidents. Accidents you will not perform and show. You should not. So you can create animations and
Solvents like ethanol, which can easily catch fire. And in spite of giving proper instructions, they may be doing not in water bath, but directly. So obviously, ethanol being flammable, it will catch fire. The next symbol I am going to talk about is the flammable symbol. And you can see here, the symbol represents the symbol of a flame. So what are these chemicals on which bottle you will find this symbol? These are
so going into then we visited the pharmaceutical industry. We talk about there is a gap between academia and industry. So what are the skill sets required? अब हर बच्चे को आप field visit में नहीं लाए. So go and capture those and they can be also added in your content.
Life Sciences Private Limited, and we'll be taking the expert input from this pharmaceutical industry. We'll also give you a glimpse of the R&D lab and the analytical labs and how as chemistry.
But be ethical, you have to take permission. I actually wrote to many denied हम अपनी research पता नहीं क्या वो है, but then you then give proper contribution and take permission and take it further. These are the screen capture thing.
Molecular modeling, graphics, and drug design.
Anything you see on the
If one
screen
is
can be
teaching a
captured.
class where the students might benefit from using Argus Lab.
That you can do it on the Zoom also. See, I am showing you the screen. I can even go into any web page and do some interactive. One more thing I like to show is in between you can put questions which will be making the students active. Fine.
Where the students might benefit from using Argus Lab.
So this we called as sticky questions.
Three, two, one.
So the question comes, and in video, you also then give some time for the students to think. So we created this watch and time up and the answer comes. So something which the students can do self-learning with that. So when we say the quality of content, it should be every element should be there so that now you will not need that type of delivery that you have been doing in the lecture mode. So can you create a content and free yourself from that entire time? And now you see, you get so much time in your class where you can go into the problem solving and the other blended models of learning that we talk about. लेकिन ऐसे उससे काम नहीं चलेगा. So you have to be making some good video and there are various stages. I will come upon very important thing which we are talking about, that module क्या होता है and then what is this 4-quadrant model. If you take one paper of a semester of 4 credits, which is normally taught in 15 weeks, and every week you have 4 classes, so 60 घंटे class में लग रहे हैं. Now, in this syllabus, you break it into 35 to 40 small parts. Then every part will be called as a module. So this module, and then as per the 4 credit paper requirement, overall we were to prepare 20 hours video. This also evolved as we started making these particular models. And the very first sample was prepared by myself and Prof. Bakhshi of a chemistry, which was accepted by the entire committee, and all subjects for EPG Pathshala, they then followed this 4-quadrant model. It was then taken up in a slight modified way for MOOCs, where discussion forums were added, and there also we have 4-quadrant model. So what is there in one module of 4-quadrant? It is, one module is equivalent to 1 to 1.5 hour of face-to-class classroom teaching. कोई टॉपिक छोटा होगा, कोई बड़ा होगा, तो ऐसा नहीं कि पूरा 1.5 घंटा नाप के and then we stop the video. No, it has to be a complete topic or combination of subtopics, and they must be independent of each other, and a proper title should be given. What I mean by that is, obviously you'll be taking the title or subtitle, but if there is one particular topic which is running across 3 modules, so you will say this particular title, part 1, part 2, part 3, so that all the 3 are taken together or left when we do the syllabi change and take it in a futuristic manner. Learner will require 4 different types of understanding or information, whatever you call. These are put up in 4 different formats, and that is what is the 4-quadrant model of e-content. One is a video lecture. So we have given the name of self-learn. This is only for EPG Pathshala project, but in general, this is what is the demonstrative learning. The teacher is using their lecture mode and other demonstration having text, graphic, visuals, animation with some experiments, as I showed you, some field widget. So all those are embedded in the video lecture. So that is one component. The learners will also require a detailed reading. So this is something like our printed material till now, our notes or books. So corresponding to this is the e-text. Then there is self-assessment, and I'll come to this part we added at that time. But now if I look back at 2013, we added this no more, because at higher education, students should be knowing more beyond the curriculum as well. And that where the case studies, did you know, points to ponder, some ethics, how can be integrated. Indian knowledge system is now added, that I missed upon, but now I have added that. So anything over and above which the students and teachers do tell about. Do you know these are the Nobel laureates who contributed? तो उसका कोई question नहीं आएगा. So there is not, these are non-evaluative, but then the e-text and videos are evaluative part, which are getting assessed through the self-assessment. So self-assessment is there where the technology can be used to make the quizzes with proper feedback, why this option is correct, why this option is incorrect. And this is what is a 4-quadrant model of e-content. In terms of the multimedia convergence of this, you should be aware about Word doc gone are the time, because when I made these particular MOOCs, many teachers gave handwritten KLO, this is the e-text. So there was even E was missing. So we put it on the typeface, but now with the new generation teacher, it is not expected that you will be given a typeface for even making your question papers and all. I think you have seen the change. So you should know proper formatting, automatic table of content, citation कैसे देनी है, use of equation editors, use of various structures, graphs, tables, etc. That should be professionally done. If you don't know, you should attend some program where there is a hands-on training going. So what I am now going to tell you is the awareness. This entire program is about awareness. It is not training you. It is just you introspect कि इन सारे 8 modules में से अब मेरे को कहाँ अपने आप को improve करना है, and all the centers will be conducting various training programs, FDPs, refresher course, so don't miss the opportunity to join them. Then in PPT, which can be used as storyboard and all, do not write paragraphs. Just write important points. More visual should be there. The font size should be big, and they can be embedded videos, audios, and animation, which will make. And PowerPoint, I will say it is going to be a wonderful tool for all of you. You can make good PowerPoint and record it just on the platform like Zoom or Google Meet or anything, and you can create your videos for the flipped classroom, get started. You can also, in between, look where interviews can be added, field videos. You can see that how in timeline there will be, in this, it is not possible. So join some programs where video editing tools are described, and the simple things. वो सीधे सीधे cut हो जाता है, and you can insert other videos, you can insert some text, you can insert and make the video as per your own choice. Then for animations, obviously you have to make storyboards, which is a proper term कि novel से लेके अगर Hollywood या Bollywood की movie बनानी है, तो how every line will be converted into a script and detail कि इसको कहाँ shoot किया जाएगा, कैसे होगा and all. Screen capture videos can be used, and this is what I am showing you, a screen capture. कई बार हमें लगता है कि हम जो बोर्ड पे करते हैं धीरे 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 करते हैं, बताते हैं यहाँ से ऐसे जा रहा है, एरो whatever, depending upon our subject, उसकी बात नहीं है. Yes, even that can be captured. Anything you can write on the board can also be written on whiteboards now. एक सिंपल सा पेन और वो लगता है, आपको 2-2 लाख के वो स्मार्ट बोर्ड्स खरीदने की जरूरत नहीं है. One simple tool which are called as tablets and pen, they can be attached with any of your machine, and you can get these type of videos. You can shoot some demonstration video like this.
Mirror image.
So I'm talking
Models
about
for
two
the
image
molecules.
molecules.
That in both of
So I
them,
don't need
the
to
curve is
do it again and again, and students can just see how this is superimposable or not. Simulations can be used. You can even, now there are those who are using the latest Microsoft Office. You see, this is a 3D model and I can rotate it. So when all of you are definitely not chemistry persons, but ये बहुत difficult term है. ये simple cubic cell है. अभी मैं 1 मिनट में आपको बता दूंगी, 1 मिनट. तो सिंपल क्यूबिक क्या है? ये जो एटम्स हैं सिर्फ इसके क्यूब के कोने में है, ठीक है, दिख रहे हैं ना. और ये क्या है? ये फेस सेंटर्ड है. क्यों? क्योंकि इसके फेस के ऊपर भी एक एटम आ गया है. अब बच्चे को हमने समझा दिया है दिखा के, तो कैन ही और नॉट राइट दैट डेफिनेशन इन हिज ओन वर्ड्स? हम क्या करते हैं, उस बच्चे को दिखाते ही नहीं है क्या है, और वो पैराग्राफ का रट्टा लगाता रहता है बेचारा, क्या सिंपल सेंटर्ड है, क्या फेस सेंटर्ड है. मेनी टाइम्स when we also come at next level, then only we realize ki this is so simple, and how it we have been confusing into. Then recording videos, as I showed you, you can use chroma technique where this green can be made transparent, and you can put टेबल भी नकली है, पीछे का बैकग्राउंड सेट भी नहीं. तो पहले जैसे बड़ी बड़ी मुगले आजम जैसी मूवीज हुई हैं, लाखों लाखों के सेट्स, अब ऐसे तो हम लगा नहीं सकते. So now if you see in Hollywood and Bollywood industry, 90% videos are getting shot on green. बड़े बड़े स्क्रीन बोर्ड्स होते हैं, ऐसा लगता है जैसे कोई खाई में गिर रहा है, बस उनके वो एक्टिंग कर रहे होते हैं, हाँ गिर गए डूब गए, ऐसा कुछ होता नहीं है. So now all that, some tips we should take from that and try to have good interesting videos for our students. And we should be also learning, improving upon our voice modulation. अगर आप वीडियो बना रहे हो और अरे ओ see here the proton is getting abstracted and this is getting, बच्चा सो जाएगा बेचारा. Come on, please make it, you have to be enthusiastic about your content. So record it with proper voice modulation, and you have to learn the traits of a performer. No actor can come and record for you, I challenge. क्योंकि हमारे वाला सब्जेक्ट वो नहीं, but yes, we can learn their skills and become better in terms of delivering this content. And content अच्छा होगा तभी बच्चा देखा, नहीं तो अगर आपकी क्लास में आप कुंडी लगा के अटेंडेंस के नाम की अगर आप बच्चों को बिठाते हो, इट इज नॉट ए गारंटी दे आर लर्निंग. इफ ऑन वीडियो, तो वो कुंडी भी नहीं है अटेंडेंस की. व्हाई विल दे वॉच योर वीडियो इफ इट इज नॉट गुड And for that, it has to be really interesting and meaningful. For MOOCs also, there is a 4-quadrant thing. उसमें क्या है? Video same है, assessment भी है, सारे के सारे टेक्स्ट को इकट्ठा कर दिया है एक क्वाड्रेंट में और एक डिस्कशन फोरम एक नया डाल दिया है. सो दिस इज द 4-quadrant फॉर्मेट ऑफ MOOCs ऑन स्वयं प्लेटफॉर्म. एंड डिस्कशन फोरम क्या है? वेयर द स्टूडेंट्स एंड learners can just interact through the virtual platform, which is learning management system, ask their queries, or even teacher can create discussion forum and see how much the students are interacting with each other. So for those who want to know more about this, you can go to Swayam MOOC Guidelines 2017. This is the latest one. इसके बाद revise नहीं हुई है. And then MOOCs will have a start date and end date. It will have e-content. In addition, you will be having activities, quizzes for every week, assignments and discussion forum. And you arrange this content in different weeks, you get a MOOCs. तो MOOCs में आपका सेमेस्टर के साथ स्टार्ट होता है और एंड होता है and content is then spreaded across the different. So this is what our MOOCs was there, which I showed you the content. But then there is one more important thing that you have to keep in mind for any digital content, which is copyright. Even in a casual way now, we have WhatsApp groups with our students, we have learning management system. What we do, because in order to in order to help our students, what we do is we will share the entire book. Please, it will put you in trouble. If there is a complete book, do not share the complete book. So you can take only some relevant 3-4 pages and share it. It will not be harming the commercial interest of the publisher or the author, and it will put you safe also. So don't just forward it. You will also be in trouble. And giving link is a better way. So कोई भी YouTube है, उसका लिंक अगर आप देते हो या कोई बुक है कहीं पे, सो वो उस पब्लिशर ने की हेडेक है, जिसका YouTube लिंक है या जिसकी वेबसाइट है, that whether they have put up the copyrighted thing or their own original, that link can be provided. Link is safe, but do not download and then upload. और अगर किसी का PPT मिलता है, उसको download करके first slide पे अपना डाल के और फिर upload कर दिया, then you are inviting so many troubles for you. Do not do that. If you're using any, please look at if there are open educational resources, then you should be properly citing them as well. Based on this understanding, you can even go to this website. Those who are interested, the Consortium for Educational Communication is now giving projects for preparing MOOCs. So you can see the guidelines in detail and give the proposal where you'll have to give a 3 to 4 minute introductory video and a detailed course plan. And those who want to join hands, and they can write to me. This is my own concept, which is Teacher Secret. And at our center, this has been recognized by ministry, where we are giving making this 4-quadrant module, which is teacher's perspective. Swayam ka content hai, MOOCs ka hai, that is for student. Now this content, I am telling that as a group of teacher, you prepare a 10 to 15 minute video, which can be used for blended learning, flip video, the model I told you. What teacher's manual will have all the information, what all discussion, what all problem solving has to be done after that, what all questions can be done, every question tagged with the Bloom's taxonomy, and then what are the no more thing, who are the Nobel laureates, how the history has developed around this topic, all those things, the Indian knowledge system, and anything which can be added up can come into this teachers no more. And in the AICT outcome-based education also, this teachers no more and other components have been added, which was the template designed by me. Coming to e-assessment, these are something which are very, very important, and we are looking at so many news coming कि वहाँ cheating हो रही है, ये cheating है. I think we are losing the credibility of our degrees. And in order to ensure that, now you see all high-stake examinations are going into proctored examination. The CUET is conducted by National Testing Agency with more than 200 centers. सब में camera, iris scan, keyboard, inputs, all these proctor tools are there so that there is no wrong person giving the exam and there is no cheating happening. And there are e-assessments benefits and we should be including in our formative assessment as well. तो सिर्फ MCQ ही नहीं होते हैं या matching या true false, we can have drag and drop, we can have numerical question, we can have audio video questions. So those who are from language, they will appreciate कि सिर्फ पेपर पेंसिल मोड से ही आप अपनी लैंग्वेज को नहीं टेस्ट कर सकते. इफ यू हैव टू चेक द स्पीकिंग स्किल्स और द लिसनिंग स्किल्स, you will require other tools like hot potatoes. You can create this crossword and many questions. See, I can put a timer. पूरे के पूरे चैप्टर की मैंने एक क्रॉसवर्ड बना दी. All the rote learning part can be put up here. I don't have to put my time into checking. So the student can keep on learning these important terms and keep on checking कि yes, check किया तो इसमें ये गलत था and then they can fill. So you see, only half part is there. Configuration था answer, not the confirmations, not the configuration. So now accordingly the student can do on his or her own. Look at this. This is a drag and drop question. All the labelings or the sequencing. You look in your own subject how you can put this. कि अगर कोई आपका even character map है, that how you want to relate them, you can ask your students to do that on the with the help of technology. This I mentioned that you can have questions in between the video. And for examinations, when you're starting with online courses in your, even if it is a small certificate course, the examination has to be rigorous. So there are tools for live online proctoring, recorded proctoring, and now we have advanced automated proctoring with the help of AI tools. अपने आप ही बता देगा ये पूरे अगर 1 लाख बच्चे भी होंगे and they are doing exam for 3 hours each. So you imagine कितनी footage होगी. It will give you red marker. So आपको सारी analyze करने की जरूरत नहीं. Immediately you can go to the point where there can be a question mark whether the student has cheated or not. Learning management system is something that you all must be having in your institution. And as teacher, you should be knowing how to handle. उसपे सिर्फ PPT या notes या video डालने से काम नहीं चलेगा. You have to see how different type of questions can be there, analysis can be done, and how you structure those content. उसमें बैक हैंड पे स्टोरेज ज्यादा नहीं है तो किस तरह से कंप्रेस कर सकते हो वीडियोस को अपने बाकी कंटेंट को एंड पुट इट. एंड अदर आईसीटी टूल्स टू मास्टर, हाउ टू हैव ग्रुप एक्टिविटीज फॉर द स्टूडेंट्स, ट्रांसलेशन टूल्स, बेसिक आईसीटी टूल्स. आई एम नॉट टॉकिंग पीपीटी में. प्लीज डोंट राइट एवरीथिंग एंड डोंट यूज इट एज अ स्क्रिप्ट. इफ यू आर डूइंग दैट, योर स्टूडेंट विल से मैडम सर अपनी पीपीटी दे दो, आपकी जरूरत नहीं है हमें. यू सी माई प्रेजेंटेशन, I am not speaking whatever is written. All these some important parts where I wanted to mention NEP I have put up. But then I should know my content. And then PPT should give me a flow ki yes, pehle ye kiya, and whatever visualization I want the student to do, they should do that and accordingly. Look at this. If I'm using these texts like this, it is boring. Let me try converting into visual. So ye boring tha, but then now here I can make it more interesting. I'll give you some more examples. So many videos available. Just look in your subjects. बायो की टीचर्स को आधा टाइम तो ग्राफ बनाते बनाते लग जाता था. जब तक पढ़ाना शुरू होता था तब तक घंटी बज जाती थी. We can use all those things. And spreadsheets. Please convert your graphs into Excels. जितने टाइम में बच्चा हाथ से ग्राफ बनाता है, you can have 3 more sets of reading. And there are various graph plotters. You can tell your students to create their portfolios. ICT tools for research is again one more important area. The e-database, e-publishing, data collection, data analysis, R or SPSS, modeling software, in silico reaction. Look at your own subject requirement and then accordingly you should be also learning these tools. Shodh Ganga is there, where there are so many electronic thesis and dissertation where you can refer to. Quantitative data analysis, as I told, SPSS, R, MATLAB, GraphPad, SAS, Microsoft Excel, all can be used. References and bibliography compilation you can do with EndNote, Jotero, and Mendeley. Mendeley I like most. Plagiarism detection tools. You have many: Grammarly, Article Checker, Turnitin, Dupli Checker, Plagiarism X, and so on. You should be knowing about cyber security and the cyber frauds going on, and also tell how the safety in online communication can be ensured with your students. Ethics for online communication. WhatsApp पे बच्चे क्या लिख रहे हैं when you are in the group, or how they are commenting to other students, especially girl students हैं, तो we have to be looking into all the aspect and guiding them into this. Now also we have into various accessible and assistive technology, so they can be used where you can live TV shows or any videos like Zoom can be converted into Braille. So these are the converters which are there. Gamification is coming, virtual augmented reality is there. And let me tell you, the AI tools are going to be the future, and the future is here. We cannot wait. Please, all of us should start learning these tools. If you have to get idea what project I have to give to my students, the ChatGPT will give it to you. You can use Gemini, you can use Open Text Aviator, ND Search. U.com is something, it will also give you the link कि वो कहाँ से ढूंढ के लेके आया. Fine. So for especially if you're looking for the research, then this AI tool can be used. Audio pen is there where you just speak out and it will. आपको पता है अब मैं थका हूँ अभी मेरे को कुछ लिखना नहीं है. So you just relax, open the audio pen, that okay, write a note for me of 8 to 10 pages on this topic. You just give the topic, it will give you the notes. It will create subsections and all, isn't it? So जो काम आपको 10 दिन लगेंगे वो 1 मिनट में हो रहा है. You can create presentations. So don't need of starting from scratch. I recall 25 years back, I used to make presentation. एक presentation में मेरे को 3-4 दिन लगते थे. बीच में आके okay, I was like more conversant, so 1 दिन. Now that gets reduced to just half an hour क्योंकि 1 minute में मेरे को base मिल जाता है, but then I have to improve a lot. So don't take it ready-made and all. You have to be using your own requirement. And then you can also have Word, Excel, PowerPoint are also having AI automatically. You can rehearse your slide. This is PowerPoint Speaker Coach, and this can be used for your classroom setting. If the students are giving some presentation, it will tell you where the pacing and pitch is not proper, where it needs improvement. There is AI tool, it will analyze your speech. Picture and images can be generated. Go to Canva, there are free online image generators. GenCraft is there. Shutterstock also has best AI image generators. आपके माइंड में कुछ आइडिया है कि मेरे को ऐसी इमेज चाहिए. एक मोर एक टेबल पे बैठा है और वो केमिस्ट्री लैब के अंदर बैठा है, आप उसे ला नहीं सकते हो, ऐसी बना नहीं सकते. बट देन यू गिव दीज प्रॉम्प्ट्स टू द AI tools, and that's what is called as prompt engineering. Let me tell you, now the corporate worlds are hiring these prompt engineers and giving them salary worth more than 2 lakhs per month. And that was the hue and cry. Hollywood, you see the animators and the videos, they all went to strike because उनकी जो story writing है, उनकी जो animations है, visualization है, सारी की सारी AI tools से आ गई. And so there is a treaty which has been signed by UNESCO with all the governments that when you bring AI in education, you cannot think of replacing the human mind. So AI has to be used where the teachers and the learners are getting empowered, not getting replaced. You can change the, कई बार होता है पिक्चर अच्छी नहीं है, blurred है, but we want to use it good in good quality content. You can enhance the pixel. You can, कई बार लगता है मेरी आवाज आज गला खराब है या मेरी आवाज इतनी अच्छी नहीं है. I want to have someone using giving me voice over. तो आप अपना text डालो या सिर्फ prompt डालो. It will create script for you. It will create that in various languages. Yes, this multilingual I found, where it can create voiceover in multiple language. You can create videos by just giving prompts. आपको लगता है मेरी पूरी क्लास में बीच बीच में कुछ मेरे को सेक्शन ऐसे हैं, I want to have different type of videos apart from it. So I'll show you one sample I created. Look at this.
Have you ever pondered the invisible enemy we breathe in every day?
So climate
The air
change
around
पे-
us, seemingly clear, carries a burden of unseen pollutants that contribute to a global crisis we know as climate change. Climate change isn't just about melting ice caps or scorching summers. It's a health crisis, a silent predator that impacts every breath we take. According to the World Health Organization, an estimated 7 million people fall victim to premature death each year due to air pollution. It's a staggering number, isn't it? Air pollution comes in many forms, but the most deadly are the fine particulate matter. Have you
So
ever
you can create, and this I created just in 3 to 4 minutes. मैंने इसको सिर्फ ये लिखा था, I want climate change and air pollution and threat to health and the prevention measures. बस ये सिर्फ 4-5 पॉइंट्स लिखे, and then it told me कि आपको ऑडियंस क्या चाहिए. Environmental health conscious individuals I selected, प्रोफेशनल लुक एंड फील चाहिए, कौन से प्लेटफॉर्म पे डालना है, यूट्यूब पे डालना है, फेसबुक पे डालना है, लिंक्डइन पे डालना है. इट विल ऑटोमेटिकली रीसाइज दिस एंड डू द rendering accordingly. Or you can even create your own avatar or take the ready-made avatars and use their faces. You can use make questions. Come on. अभी पहले हमें लगता है कि क्लास में 3 तरह के लर्नर्स बैठे, कुछ बच्चों ने क्वेश्चन कर लिया, अब खाली बैठे हैं, तो उनको कैन वी गिव मोर क्वेश्चंस? यस, विद इन सेकंड्स यू कैन गिव. You can go to quizzes, you give, you upload your notes, you upload your PPT, and you can create questions. You can create questions in the PowerPoint itself, use it as a breaking the monotony. You can have AI tutor, you can have games around that which can be used in the class. Kahoot is good format. There is a AI based LMS which is Teachermatic. And then I will just end by saying that all these will require us to be continuously preparing ourselves. So the continuous capacity building of teachers along with quality content and MOOCs can make a better and stronger India in the field of education. So humble request to all of you, we have to change, adapt these technologies so that we can empower, change our method of delivery so that they can be a qualitative, improve in our quality. वो सिर्फ NAC को points लिखाने के लिए वो smart board नहीं रखना है. Empower yourself. There is so much change which is going to happen. Otherwise, we will become redundant. So thank you so much. This is my mail ID, and I'm representing UGC MMTTC at SGTV Khalsa College. So we also keep on conducting various hands-on events. So if you see our brochure, you can join, as now most of our programs are free for the participant. So with these words, thank you everyone. And but then I'll say, I think this again, you also must be witnessing, because of the free program now, the seats are limited, 100 seats. Within 2 hours, we get 600 to 700 registration. So then we keep them on waiting list and conduct more programs for them. So thank you so much. And any question you have, I'm here to answer those. Yes, Dr. Vikrant, you have some question, please. You can raise your hands and maybe Dr. Swapnil can help me to take them on board. Any observation, anything otherwise you would like to share? Yeah, Chitra, we do conduct detailed 1 week FDP on e-content and MOOCs and tell how the entire structuring has to be done, even including how to write the proposals and get it done. I think Dr. Swapnil can also not unmute. So who is the admin here? What I will do is I will share my Telegram link with you. So you can join, and we do share our posters in that. And I'll also paste my email ID for those who are interested in getting in touch with me. Fine. Swapnil, you want me to call Dr. Abe? Who is the host right now? HRDC, VMU, I think. Because I don't have right to change that. Only admin can do that if you like to. Just let me make a call. So I think I have informed someone will look into that. Yeah. So as teachers, we should know how to handle these and what can be the problem in between. So that should be, yeah. Many times what happens is seniors will not understand and they'll get panicky. Why? There is no one who is saying anything whatsoever. So yes, Vishwas, fully agree with you that, and it's not that once you learn and then every day new things is coming. So we have to be on regular self-improvement now. Lifelong learning is the key for all of us. And that is what we have to be ensuring. Can I request the admin to unmute everyone? Actually, at our center, we conduct the sessions only from 5 to 8 so that the teachers, they do their other professional requirement also and then can join. So I am a practicing teacher. So today I had examination and also I requested that I'll be taking the later parts. So that's why I think it has been slightly rescheduled. So thanks for cooperating with us. Sachin, the AI video, it was the in video, AI in video. Just search for that. You'll be able to get that tool. Some part is free, maybe, and there are many tools. You should just know these type of tools exist and you can try as many. कई बार एक paid हो जाता है तो then you can shift to the other, so we can do these type of mix and match. Fine. Thank you. Vikrant, for your comments. Yeah, Dr. Vishwas, schools right from class 9th to 12th, CBSE, not CBSE, NCRT and NIOS have the mandate to make the lectures, and there is a division which is working on these, and already more than many lectures are available for all their courses. Right? So the concept is that now the videos and otherwise also plenty. So as teachers, we should identify which videos I will not be required to put my time in explaining. Till explanation, it should be done. And then how to apply, how to have discussion forum with the students, how to solve the problems which they are not able to solve on their own. That is something which is lacking and we should be. तो अगर ये अगर हो जाता है तो हमें कोचिंग सेंटर्स की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. We should be able, coaching centers are there till there is a flaw in our education system.
Any more questions?
Now I think you can unmute here.
Participants, if you have questions, you can unmute and ask.
No, I think Dr. Swapnil is still saying he is not able to do. If I am understanding his gestures, fine.
Okay. Amol, kindly see that all participants are been given the opportunity. Just I will check because I have logged in from mobile. Just I will check participants are able to. Just a minute.
Good evening, ma'am.
I think now they can do. Yeah.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening, please.
Yeah, ma'am, excellent session, superb session, first of all. Very insightful. The whole presentation or the lecture was actually targeting to enhance the lecture delivery or the content part. But unless and until our examination pattern doesn't change, this is not going to lead us to anywhere, because let us say that I know how it works, but regarding this subject, इस subject में you are going to get only 2 marks. इसमें crossword नहीं आएगा, filling the blank नहीं आएगा, one word answer ही आएगा. So the mind has been conditioned to such a level कि मैं इतना सीख के क्या मिलने वाला है. What's the point of doing all these things? Jab the whole object orientation is to get maximum marks in the paper pattern set by the board. So the person might be knowing everything. Like for example, in the day-to-day, what I want to explain is the exact scene of Three Idiots when the professor has asked you define a machine. And Amir Khan wanted to define that particular definition in whatever he wants, and that definition was correct. I truly agree.
Yeah.
Right. And it has happened with me also when I was asked the definition of an ammeter, and it is used for the purpose of finding out the current. But that definition was wrong. It doesn't measures current, it measures the strength of the current.
स्वाति ने बताया ना
It measures the strength of the current. So unless and until you don't get into this examination pattern and make sure that whatever content we are giving, that same thing is being done in the examination pattern also, where creativity is also considered to be giving credits to that particular person and not just memory retention as a part of giving him a certificate. Let's say project work, let's say experimentation, or
Yeah,
let us
Dr.
say,
Swapnil, yeah, I got your point and I fully agree with you. And if you look into, rather it was our committee, because initially we started with only 8 modules. I don't know, Dr. F.A., maybe I'll talk to him later on. There are 2 more topics that we have added apart from these 8 modules. One is on curriculum design, pedagogy and assessment. And the other is on the student autonomy and choice. So what is intended in this is that with the newer pedagogies, the assessment has to go hand in hand. If you look in the outcome-based education, when you write a learning outcome, unless or until it is assessed with a proper instrument means the methodology for the assessment, it cannot be validated. Every assessment, 99% is focusing on the rote learning. वो डेफिनेशन के रट्टे लगा के कर दिया, पर बच्चे को घर में फ्यूज लगाना नहीं आता है. घर में बताया अगर खोल के कि ये अर्थ का कौन सा वाला वायर है और इसकी क्या सिग्निफिकेंस है, नहीं लगाएंगे तो. All those things are really missing, and that's where there's a serious concern. In assessment, let me tell you, in school education, you should also be looking in your school education, changes happening. The case studies, method, questions have been added. Fine. There are also projects which have been included, the group projects. And when you give a group project, you cannot give them a question paper to write on sign. You'll be telling them to come and present, where you'll be checking their communication skills. You'll be checking how effectively they have done that, whether they have done या बाजार से खरीद के ले आए हैं project. So all those things, and for the teachers now we have to be looking into this part. But हो क्या रहा है? We are so much ingrained into that lecture, उसके ऊपर लिख के हमें लगता है हमने सिलेबस खत्म करवा दिया. Actually वो खत्म नहीं करवाया, शुरू ही नहीं हुई है पढ़ाई. We are confining our student to that 5%. We are wasting 90% of the time to just ensure 5% learning. So we have to be taking these tools and then go towards pura outcome-based education, Bloom's taxonomy. All this we should be understanding, helping our school colleagues, and also ensure these methods are implemented in our classroom. All these. और अब जो आप skill के paper बात कर रहे हो, how can you have the skill paper tested with a handwritten paper? Some universities started with that. Let me tell you, Dr. Swapnil, it started. जिसमें 1 घंटे का लेंगे और बाकी टीचर जो. Now in Delhi University, we have converted 100% formative assessment for the skill paper. And that means the skill has to be checked different times of the same. ये नहीं कि ड्राइविंग एक स्किल है. मेरी 4 साल पहले ड्राइविंग ठीक नहीं थी, लेकिन अब अच्छी हो गई है. So in the semester, right from the beginning till the end, there has to be improvement in that skill. That is what is your responsibility. So our assessment method should be changing, and NEP talks about revamping assessments. इसके ऊपर तो हम पूरा 1 हफ्ते का FDP करते हैं. I'm planning to do one FDP again on assessments, where how the technology और कैसे right from various criterias, different techniques of assessment, their gradings, the rubrics is there. Rubrics के बारे में तो teachers को अभी पता ही नहीं है. So when you talk about the projects and other assessments, like checking their communication skills, their otherwise the field activity and all, you have to create rubrics. So all these are the changes which I will request all of you to be vigilant. Please अपने points मत count करो कि एक FDP हो गया, promotion हो गई है. You have to be now learning more often, and this orientation program is giving you कि क्या dimensions हैं. Because NEP, if it has to be implemented into spirit, it will be done by all of us. It cannot be done by a handful of teachers. और syllabus एक चीज में syllabus में बोलूंगी कि please सब कुछ मत भरो उसमें. अभी हो क्या रहा है? We are not looking at the learner-centric requirement. Learning is the activity of the learning. तो आपको क्या लगता है ये रट्टे लगा दिया इतना सारा, पहले उसको आधा कर दो and add activities, add more things which can be done in front of you. घर से project नहीं बना के लाना है, project आपके सामने करने हैं. All those things will be requiring change. So as teacher, I will say, आप अगर board से दूर हो जाओ और बच्चों को आप board के ऊपर लेके आओ, and you be in between your learners. That is the model that we have to be looking into. Fine. So thank you so much. I think Ujjwal Pathak, you are trying to ask something. You can unmute, please.
Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. This is Chitra from Chennai, Loyola
Yes.
College.
Yes, please.
Wonderful presentation, ma'am. I'm amazed by your content that you've given to us. Two things I want to share with you. One is regarding the AI tools that we are applying and we are evaluating, and the Bloom's taxonomy and the outcome-based education. Though we are bringing out a lot of the cognitive testing patterns and other things, this pattern is not being used in schools. So students from different boards, when they come together, it's a heterogeneous group, and we are finding it little difficult to make it in the initial years. That's the first year, they are finding it difficult, but in course of the time they are picking up and they are falling in line. Maybe this should be started from right from school onwards in all the boards. CBSE students are adaptable, but other boards, state boards and other ICSE and other boards are little adaptive to it, but they take time. That's one thing. So if they are being brought in the school, these outcome based education and the Bloom's taxonomy will be very, very effective. That's one thing. That's only my opinion on that. The second thing is,
right here.
yeah, the
Please
second thing is, I just want to give my gratitude, your thanks, because I had a gray area regarding the MOOC course content preparations. You had thrown light on it, so thank you so much for enlightening me, and you have triggered me to form a MOOC course on that. For other details, I'll contact you through your email, madam. Thank you so much, and it was a pleasure and informative session listening to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chitra, and I fully agree with you. And the policy, if you see, I think please all of you should read the policy. There are two broad sections. One is for the school education and the higher education. Read the school education also. All these reforms which are being talked in higher education is also in the school education. Problem starts with A for apple. The problem starts from there, but you cannot wait कि जब तक school ठीक नहीं होगा तब तक हम नहीं करेंगे. Efforts have to be started in every classroom. Every one class we are living, if we are not completing this methodology, we are creating more citizens who will be less employable and not able to create some jobs for them.
True, very true.
Because right now, these are not the jobs which they will be continuing forever. We are in a blessed profession. हम अपनी केमिस्ट्री पढ़ के बड़े हुए हैं और केमिस्ट्री पढ़ा के रिटायर हो जाएंगे. Same way with other subjects, but not for these kids. They will be able to apply if we have the generic learning outcomes, the skills in them, whether it is creative thinking, communication skills, the digital skills, working in team, having empathy in them. All these are the traits which every graduate should have, which is the basis of the outcome-based education. So when you introduce the projects, when they go to some community and talk to some cancer survivors, you are bringing empathy in them. Try to relate with a bio thing or a chemist. It can be weaved in anything. So think what are those activities which can be done, which are around the real life application industry. I actually take a proper session on the outcome-based education because I have designed now the template for the implementation of outcome-based education through NEP 2020 for all the engineering courses through AICT. Books are being written and their translation in 12 languages. So third year books we are preparing under our team. So I learned a lot there, and all this I'm then sharing to my fellow colleagues. So yes, Chitra, and the skills required by the industry. So I will say, look at how your students are going into the different industry, talk to them, and then those things can be integrated in the small projects. वो please वो जो रट्टा लगाने वाला है ना वो बच्चा अपने आप ही कर लेगा. So even if you leave some part of that one-way delivery, the student will do रट्टे लगा के 90% ले आएगा वो जो किसी काम के होंगे नहीं. So this entire NEP is a focus towards the blended learning, the different better models. If you look at the global level, the top institutions, lecture mode is not more than 10%. And during the lecture mode also, if you look at the videos, वो एक physics का teacher होगा तो I think Dr. Swapnil, you can agree with more. You talked about ammeter कि अगर एक हमें pendulum दिखाना है तो पूरी क्लास में एक पेंडुलम टांगेगा जाके और उसको लाएगा, इधर लेके आएंगे तो फिर ये फॉर्मूला है और ये इधर है तो क्यों है यहाँ. So that gives a better impact. And so the lecture mode also with the components of demonstration and rest will be with the discussion. हमें थोड़ा अपना पढ़ाना ना, हम क्या अपने आप को बहुत 30 मार खा समझते हैं कि हमसे ज्यादा सब्जेक्ट नहीं आता है. कम ऑन, ये एआई टूल्स ने चेंज कर दिया सब. सो पहले गुरु होते थे, उनके पास ही इंफॉर्मेशन होती थी, बाकी नहीं होता. तो दे यूज टू पोर, वो खाली वेसल आया है उसके अंदर डाल दो. अब वो खाली वेसल नहीं है, उसके पास बहुत सारी इंफॉर्मेशन है. एंड दे आर मोर टेक सेवी. सो वी हैव टू बी एंगेजिंग देमसेल्फ कि ठीक है एआई से सर्च करो, मेरे से पहले तुम सर्च करो, 5 ग्रुप बना लो, अलग अलग टूल्स करके सर्च करो और अब इसको देखते हैं, अप्लाई करो. चलो, that's where I think our models have. So that will ease out your work actually. You be smart teachers. आप लगे हो अपने उसमें and the students are putting then question कि अच्छा सर ने ये लिखते हुए कुछ गलती कर दी. Put, make them involved. Fine. Okay, so I think thank you so much. No more questions are there. But wish that we'll be interacting again in some forum. Fine. And once again, I'm thankful to all the organizers, Dr. Afe and the director of the UGC MMTTC Center and all the ones involved. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
I think we log out, please. Yeah.